So welcome friends, how are you all? What if Naruto banished and had cosmic divine power from Azure Phoenix movie? It was a warm summer night in the village of Konohagakure. The Anbu were rushing around the village, the civilians were heading home from their shops for the day, off-duty ninja were in bars drinking away the night, and all of the children were at home or in one of the many orphanages which were full after the QB attack 7 years prior. Well, that is true except for one child, one Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto was in a park all alone, having been sitting on the swing almost crying since all of his friends had been picked up by their families about half an hour ago. Naruto was an orphan, you see. He was a short boy for his age, he had spiky sun-kissed blonde hair, he had heterochromic eyes, his left one being a dark blue, while the other was a green-blue color, and adorning his cheeks were 3 whisker-like marks. Naruto wore a blue shirt with a red swirl pattern on the back, a pair of baggy green camo pattern shorts and a pair of black ninja sandals. He was hated by the village for reasons he didn't know. He was never told. In truth, it was because Naruto was the Jinchuriki, or power of a human sacrifice, for the Kyuubi no Kitsune. You see, the Kyuubi was a being of pure chakra and thus unable to be killed. The only way to stop the attack was to seal the creature. Naruto is what it was sealed into by the Yondava Hokage Minato Namikaze. Why Naruto? Well, Naruto was Minato's own flesh and blood. Naruto had been born not even hours before the attack. In fact, his birth played a big part in the attack, as the Kyuubi had been sealed in its previous container, Naruto's mother. Kushina Uzumaki. The only time a seal on a Jinchuriki was when a female Jinchuriki was giving birth. So while Kushina had been giving birth to Naruto, the seal holding back the Kyuubi was weakened, and before the seal could be tightened after Naruto's birth, a masked man attacked the new parents Minato and Kushina, and threatening Naruto, the masked man managed to get away with Kushina and completely break the seal holding the Kyuubi before releasing the creature on the village. Minato faced the masked man in combat and in the end freed the Kyuubi from the man's control. However, the matter still remained what to do with the Kyuubi, and it was with a heavy heart that Minato and Kushina reluctantly agreed to seal the beast in their son. The Kyuubi, however, didn't want to be sealed again, so it tried to kill Naruto before it could be sealed. However, both Minato and Kushina threw themselves between the creature and Naruto, slowing the fox's attack to the point it didn't even reach Naruto, and with a tearful goodbye, Kushina and Minato's lives were extinguished. Naruto wiped the tears that had formed in the corners of his eyes away before getting off the swing and began to walk towards the park exit. "Naruto Uzumaki, you are to come with us. Our master wishes to speak with you," said an emotionless voice from behind the blonde. Naruto turned around to face the voice, only to find a dozen masked shinobi. They were like the Anbu he was familiar with, but also they were quite different. None of their masks had any markings excluding the kanji for NE or root. Naruto froze upon seeing the 12 ninja. The root ninja took Naruto's lack of movement as non-compliance, so 3 of them began to flip through hand signs. Katen Gokakyu no Jutsu, fire-style fireball jutsu, called the 3 ninja simultaneously breathing out a ball of fire each. All 3 flew towards Naruto, ready to incinerate the boy. The sight of the fire coming at him was enough to snap Naruto out of his frozen state. Naruto, not wanting to die, threw his hands forwards and scrunched his eyes shut in a vain attempt to protect himself from the flames. After a second of nothing, Naruto opened his eyes to see a line of light blue flames floating in front of him. #Another dimension castle office. A blonde man with dark blue eyes sat in his office looking over various paperwork, trying not to incinerate the piles of paper on his desk. That's when he felt a surge in power similar to one he hadn't felt in 7 years. Sitting up straight, the man looked around. He then felt the same power flare again, reassuring him that he had in fact felt it, and in the blink of an eye he stood up and a ring formed beneath his feet before rising upwards, making the man vanish. Same dimension, different castle and office. At the same time, a red-haired, light blue-eyed man sat in his office just like the blonde man. He was looking over paperwork, trying not to destroy them as they were important to his clan. He too felt a strong surge in power similar to one he had not felt in 7 years sitting up trying to make sure his mind wasn't playing tricks on him. He felt another surge and instantly locking onto its location he stood up and like the blonde man a ring formed below his feet before raising up making the man vanish. #back with Naruto. Naruto looked at the blue flames confused. Why were they just floating there? Lowering his hands so he could see the Anbu-like guys, they appeared to be as shocked as him. "What did you do?" asked one of the Anbu men. "Nothing, I swear," declared Naruto, his hands flicking back up, his eyes scrunching shut again. However, what he didn't see was for the blue flame to be thrown back at the root ninja, who were too surprised to dodge. About half of the root Anbu were hit with the fire. They dropped to the ground dead. Naruto's eyes shot open at the sound and smell of burnt flesh. Upon seeing the 6 dead ninja, he dropped to the ground hyperventilating. The remaining ninja turned to the downed Naruto and charged at him. Naruto looked up when he heard more noises. He saw 2 men standing protectively in front of him and no sign of the root ninja. "It's okay Naruto, you can rest," said the red-haired man, and like that Naruto found himself feeling very sleepy. Naruto fell forwards into the arms of the red-haired man. "Lord Gremory," said the blonde man, nodding to the red-haired man. "Lord Phoenix," replied the now identified Lord Gremory. The 2 awake men stepped back from each other and again rings formed under their feet before floating upwards, making the 2 of them vanish, Naruto in tow with Lord Gremory. However, what none of them noticed was a pair of charcoal black eyes watching the whole thing from a nearby tree. That boy has an interesting ability," muttered the man before he too vanished. However, he vanished in a swirl of leaves. #with Naruto. Naruto began to stir from his sleep. His eyes fluttered open and they were assaulted by light, making him shut them right away. Letting his eyes adjust to the light, Naruto opened his eyes to find 4 girls looking at him curiously. Naruto looked from side to side. One of the girls had bright red hair and blue eyes. The other 3 girls all had black hair. The first, who stood next to the red-haired girl, had very long black hair and violet eyes. The third girl stood opposite the red-haired girl had short black hair, her calculating violet eyes looking at him from behind her glasses. The last girl had long black hair and heterochromic eyes, her right being light brown and her left being violet, hidden behind her glasses. All 4 of them looked to be around his age. Can I help you 4? asked Naruto, looking at all 4 girls confused. "No, not really," said the red-haired girl, stepping back, all 4 girls still looking at him curiously. "Who are you 4? Where am I?" asked Naruto. "Isn't it polite to introduce yourself before asking for the names of others?" questioned the dual violet-eyed glasses-wearing girl. "Is it? Sorry, I didn't know that. Naruto," said Naruto with a small smile. The 4 girls raised eyebrows and narrowed eyes at the mention of not knowing. "Rias, this is Akeno, my queen. That's Sona and she is Tsubaki, Sona's queen," said the red-haired girl, smiling, first pointing to the girl with long black hair and violet eyes, then the girl with short black hair, violet eyes and glasses, and then pointing to the heterochromic black-haired girl with glasses. Naruto's face scrunched up in confusion. "What do you mean queens?" questioned Naruto, confused. "Evil pieces? Queens?" spoke Sona as if it was the most obvious thing in the world. Now girls, Naruto-kun probably won't know about evil pieces," said the red-haired man who saved Naruto, walk into the room. "Thank you, sir," said Naruto, recognizing the man before bowing slightly, looking to the man who simply waved him off. "No problem, Naruto-kun," said the man with a smile. "What do you mean he probably won't know about evil pieces to San? I mean, he is a devil, isn't he?" questioned Rias, looking at the red-haired man with a confused look. "Yes, he is a devil, Rias-chan, but he has lived his life in the elemental countries where there aren't that many devils, and his devil blood was suppressed until recently, and his parents didn't tell anyone about them being devils," said the red-haired man. "You know my parents?" screamed Naruto, almost not daring to hope that he did. His outburst shocked everyone in the room, none more so than the red-haired man. "You mean you don't know who they were?" asked the man, getting a shake of the head from Naruto. "Well, Naruto-kun, your parents were Kushina Gremory, and Minato Phoenix, or as they were known by the humans of your world, Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki, said Ria's father. Kushina Gremori, Minato Phoenix, Kushina Gremori, Minato Phoenix, thought Naruto, getting a feel for the names. Wait. What do you mean humans of my world? Questioned Naruto, looking up at the man. Naruto, you? Me, everyone in this room is a devil, said Ria's father, and before Naruto could say anything about how crazy being a devil sounded, Ria's father flared out a pair of bat-like wings, then the four girls did the same, and to Naruto's surprise so did he. However, his wings were different from everyone else's. Halfway along the wing his changed to blue flaming wings of a similar shape. How come my wings are different? Asked Naruto, looking at his own wings, all other questions about devils leaving his mind. Well, Naruto-kun, you are a hybrid of the Gremori and Phoenix clans. Phoenix wings are pure fire, unlike those of other devils, so the mixture of the blood made your wings the way they are, said Ria's father, making all four of the young female devils' eyes go wide. Naruto just nodded. That sounded reasonable. This boy has no idea he is the child of two of the most respected and ancient clans in the underworld, thought Sona, looking over at Naruto, seeing his placid reaction. This is cool and all, but I kind of want to go home, said Naruto, making Lord Gremori turn serious. Naruto, I have been talking with Lord Phoenix and we have decided that despite how much you may want to, we can't let you go back, at least until we are satisfied you can defend yourself, said Ria's father. You're going to train me as a ninja? Questioned Naruto excitedly. No, Naruto. We are going to train you to harness your devil blood and train you in devil magic, said Lord Gremori. Okay, awesome. When do we start? Questioned Naruto, excited. Tomorrow, however, to begin with. Naruto, my wife, Venelana, will be teaching you some history of the devils and the other factions in the worlds, said Lord Gremori. Oh, okay, said Naruto, somewhat deflated but still with a grin. For now, feel free to wander around and get familiar with the castle grounds. If you need to find somewhere specifically, ask one of the maids. They shouldn't be that hard to find, said Lord Gremori, walking out of the room. Naruto stood up from the bed he had been laying in and walked out of the room. He found the four girls walking out of the room too, but they went one way while Naruto went the other. Next day, Naruto was led by a brown-haired woman from his room towards the library, which he had stumbled across in his travels the previous day, but had moved on in favor of getting more of the castle memorized. Naruto had found that the castle was huge and running around the halls were hundreds of maids. Arriving in the library, Naruto followed Venelana towards what appeared to be the middle of the library, where a table and a chalkboard were situated. Sit, Naruto, said Venelana, pointing to the table. Naruto sat at the table and looked to Venelana, who was now sitting opposite him with a soft smile on her face. So Naruto-kun, let's begin. Tell me, what do you know about devils? Questioned Venelana. She had been told by her husband that the boy would not likely know anything, but she wished to know for sure. She was starting from scratch. Nothing, Venelana-sama, said Naruto respectfully. Venelana nodded to Naruto, who looked sad that he knew nothing of his species. It's okay, Naruto-kun, it's understandable. Devils are secret from most people, said Venelana with a soft smile. Naruto let a small smile grace his features. Alright, Naruto-kun, well, start with recent history of devils, began Venelana. Several hours later, Naruto walked away from the library with a book under his arm. Venelana had covered the basics of the three great factions, the angels, the fallen angels, and finally the devils. After that, Venelana had gone over the major battles of the last great war, and then finally the origin and purpose of the evil pieces. I wonder if I can get a set of evil pieces, muttered Naruto, looking at the book in his hands. He was supposed to read the first chapter of the book. He was scared what Venelana would say to him tomorrow when he told her he didn't do it because he couldn't read, but that was for tomorrow. Until then he had other things to do. He just hoped she didn't get really angry at him. Hey, Naruto-kun, came the voice of Rias from inside a room to the left of Naruto. Hey Rias-chan, what can I do for you? Asked Naruto, walking into the room. Do you want to watch some anime with me? Asked Rias nervously. She didn't want Naruto to think she was strange for watching anime. What's anime? Questioned Naruto. making Rias perk up. Of course, he doesn't know what anime is, maybe I can get him into it, thought Rias. She wanted a friend who watched the same stuff as her. She wanted to have someone to talk to. Akeno didn't like many anime, nor did Sona or Tsubaki, and those were the only devils her own age she liked. It's really cool, come here, sit, watch with me, said Rias with a smile, patting the seat next to her. Naruto hesitantly nodded and moved over to the seat and sat down very stiffly. He wasn't used to people wanting to do things with him. Hell, he wasn't used to people talking to him, full stop. Rias lay her head on Naruto's shoulder, making him stiffen. You okay, Naruto-kun? Asked Rias, lifting her head up and looking at him. He just nodded and she lay her head back down on his shoulder as the two watched. Naruto was for the first little while not paying any attention to the show in favor of making sure Rias didn't turn around and hurt him while his guard was lowered. Hours later, Naruto and Rias sat in front of the TV having eaten their dinner and returned to watch more anime. The young blonde devil had found himself really liking the show. It was action-packed, story-driven, and the characters were relatable. Naruto looked at Rias to ask her something only to see her asleep on his shoulder. Gently moving her from his shoulder, he stood up, catching head before it hit the couch. Naruto looked at the red-haired girl. Deciding he couldn't leave her there, he picked her up bridal style and headed towards where her room was. He only knew as he was sleeping in the room next to hers. She snuggled closer to him as he walked. He was kind of thankful and at the same time not thankful that no maids were in the halls. As he walked, he would have been embraced about having Rias asleep in his arms, but the maids could have taken her to bed while he went to his own. Walking into Rias' room, Naruto walked over to her bed and pulled her quilt back before placing her down onto her bed. Going to stand back up, Naruto found Rias to be holding him rather tightly by his shirt. Naruto sighed and tried to pry her hands off him. No, stay warm, muttered Rias in her sleep. Naruto again tried to pry her hands off him, but with no luck. Naruto sighed before climbing into the bed next to Rias before pulling the quilt over the both of them. Good night, Rias-chan, muttered Naruto, closing his eyes. Rias awoke from her slumber like any other day, naked and in her bed. However, thinking back, she couldn't remember how she got to her bed. The last thing she remembered was watching anime with Naruto. She was interrupted from her memory searching when she felt the bed move a bit. Looking next to her, she saw Naruto. Screamed Rias, waking up said boy, who leaped out of her bed and onto the floor in a panic. Looking around, he saw a naked Rias sitting on her bed looking at him. He then remembered what happened and dropped to his knees. I'm sorry, Rias. You fell asleep on me and I brought you back here, but you wouldn't let me go. Please don't hurt me, begged Naruto on his knees, bowing to the girl. She looked at him, shocked that he would apologize so quickly. She was about to tell him it was fine when the door was just short of ripped off its hinges and in walked her brother. Rias, what's going on? I heard you scream, questioned the red-haired man before he spotted Naruto on the floor. Is he? What made you scream? Questioned the red-haired Saturn. Rias, what's going on? Asked Lord Gremory, running into the room, followed quickly by Venolana, who quickly spotted Naruto on the floor. Naruto, why are you bowing? Questioned Venolana. He startled me. I evidently fell asleep on him last night and he brought me back here, but I apparently wouldn't let go, so he slept with me. I woke up and was startled by the fact he was in my bed, said Rias, looking over to the now shaking bowed boy. Venolana walked over to him, making him shake more. Please don't hurt me, whimpered Naruto, not looking up at the woman whose face was one of shock, as was everyone. Naruto-kun, said Venolana. Naruto didn't move an inch, he just cowered away from the woman. Naruto-kun, look at me, said Venolana in a stern tone. Again Naruto moved not an inch. Naruto, said the woman in a very stern tone, making him just peek up at her only to see her smiling. Naruto-kun, it's okay, it was a misunderstanding, said Venolana, rubbing circles in the boy's back. However, as she did, she felt something making her eyes widen. Why don't you come with me, Naruto-kun? We can get started on today's lesson, said Venolana with a soft smile to the blonde, who looked at her shocked and still a little scared before he nodded and stood up slowly and followed the woman out of the room. Rias watched Naruto leave with a raised eyebrow. He confused her a bit, which she didn't like. You really need to stop stripping in, you sleeper moto, Especially if you're going to start sleeping with Naruto-kun, said Surex, looking at Rias with a smirk. Ni-san, screamed Rias, blushing up a storm. Both her father and brother chuckled before walking out of the room, leaving Rias, who sighed. Naruto-kun, thought the girl, looking down at the ground where he had been not moments before. With Naruto and Venelana. Naruto had quickly gone and got the book he was supposed to read from the lounge before meeting Venelana in the same place in the library their lesson had been the previous day. Naruto-kun, before we begin today, I want to ask you to do something for me, okay? Questioned Venelana. He hesitantly nodded. Could you take off your shirt and turn around? Asked Venelana. Naruto's eyes widened. He looked shocked and scared, but after a moment he complied. He turned around and took off his shirt, showing the violet-eyed woman his back. Venelana had tears in her eyes. Naruto's back was covered in scars. She reached out and placed her hand on his back. Gently running her fingers over his back, she felt every scar on his back in the grisly and gruesome detail. Her eyes narrowed as she spotted the word demon carved into Naruto's peach-colored skin. Okay Naruto, you can put your shirt back on, declared Venelana, trying to hold back her rage towards the boy's home. Not only was the boy covered in scarring, he was dangerously underweight even for a devil. Naruto hesitantly turned around to face Venelana, who wore a calming smile on her face despite her boiling rage. I'm sorry about earlier, Venelana-sama, said Naruto, bowing, his head touching the ground. It's okay Naruto-kun, it was a misunderstanding, said Venelana with a soft smile, touching the boy's back, making him look at her. Okay, let's get started on our lesson, said Venelana with a smile. Naruto nodded. So can you tell me what those pages I asked you to read covered? Asked Venelana. No, I can't, stuttered Naruto, looking down. Why? Didn't you do the reading? Asked Venelana. No, Venelana-sama, spoke Naruto, looking down, shaking his head, tears beginning to form in his eyes. Why not, Naruto-kun? Asked Venelana in a calm tone. She wouldn't get angry if he had a valid reason for not doing it. Muttered Naruto. I'm sorry Naruto-kun, I didn't hear that, said Venelana, still in a calm tone. I didn't do it because I can't read, muttered Naruto lowly, but with enough volume that Venelana heard him, making her look at him shocked as her rage began to grow again. Oh Naruto honey, why didn't you say? Asked Venelana in a sad tone. He should have been able to read at least partially. I was scared, muttered Naruto, making Venelana look at him confused. Scared? Why? Asked the brunette. People always hurt me when I ask for help. I was scared you would said Naruto. Is that what happened to your back? Questioned Venelana, her eyes narrowing. No, people hurt me saying I killed their sons, daughters, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, said Naruto once more, causing Venelana's eyes to narrow. Alright Naruto, let's get started on the lesson. We'll start with teaching you how to read, okay? Asked Venelana with a smile towards the young blonde, who nodded towards the woman. With Rias. Rias sat in the lounge room with Akeno, Sona and Tsubaki. The latter three were talking and having fun, but Rias, well, her mind was still elsewhere, more specifically on Naruto. Rias, called Sona, making Rias blink and shake her head before turning to the other king-rank devil in the room. Yes Sona? Questioned Rias. Are you okay? I called you name about 5 times, asked Sona. Yeah, I'm fine, just a little confused is all, said Rias, making Sona raise an eyebrow at the red-haired girl. About? Pushed Sona. She hadn't really ever seen Rias confused. Well, you remember Naruto? Questioned Rias, getting a nod from the 3 other girls in the room. Last night he and I were watching anime. I apparently fell asleep. So he brought me back to my room and apparently was clinging to him enough that he couldn't get loose, so he climbed into bed next to me. And when I woke up this morning, he shot out of bed and was apologizing, bowing, and he didn't move until Ka-chan came in and forced him to look at her, but he looked terrified the whole time, said Rias in a confused tone. Terrified? Why? Asked Sona. That's what I'm trying to work out, it's really confusing me, said Rias, frowning. He seemed fine the other day. Maybe he was scared of your mother, suggested Sona. No, he spent a few hours yesterday learning from her and he was fine when he finished, declared Rias. He did go stiff when I leant on his shoulder, He said it was nothing but he seemed tense, muttered Rias looking down. That's strange. Why would he be tense when you leaned on him? Questioned Akeno. Do you think maybe he isn't used to physical contact? I mean, he seemed so shocked that your father knew his parents. He obviously didn't. Maybe he isn't used to physical contact, suggested Tsubaki. That makes sense, at least for why he was tense about the contact, but not why he was terrified earlier, muttered Rias, nodding to Tsubaki's suggestion. I have a theory, but I hope I am wrong, said Sona, making the other three look at her confused. He doesn't know social norms, proven the other day when he told us he didn't know that it was polite to introduce himself before asking about us. He doesn't have parents around, and is clearly desperate to know them, shown by his reaction to your father saying he knew them, suggesting he is an orphan. He was terrified of Venelana-sama and you, Rias, who have shown him nothing but kindness when he did one little thing wrong. I hate to even suggest it, but maybe H has been gulp abused, spoke Sona. No way, there is no way someone that kind could have been abused, declared Rias, shaking her head in denial. Rias, Sona makes a good point. It sounds like it could be possible. He seemed a little jumpy around everyone as well. I know that doesn't mean much to you, but as someone who has been isolated by everyone, I can attest to when you are all alone, everyone is a potential threat, declared Tsubaki. And like I said, it's only a theory, and I too hope I am wrong, said Sona with a sad smile. Several hours later, Naruto once more walked out of the library, once again with a book under his arm. However, this was a much simpler book for him to try his hand at reading by himself after Venelana had been teaching him the basics of reading. Hey Naruto-kun, came the voice of Rias from down the hall. Oh hey Rias, sorry about this morning again, said Naruto, bowing to the red-haired girl. It's fine Naruto-kun, said Rias with a smile and a dismissive wave of her hand as she, Akeno, Sona and Tsubaki approached him. We are heading to the hot springs. Naruto-san, would you like to join us? Asked Sona. Please Sona-chan, don't call me Naruto-san. Naruto is fine and as much fun as it sounds. I'm going to say no, said Naruto with an apologetic look. Oh, don't say that Naruto-kun, said Rias, hugging his arm, making him once again stiffen at the contact, before he quickly tried to pull away from her. Sorry Rias-chan, I have other things to do, said Naruto, trying to step back from the girl. Things? What things? Questioned Rias. I have reading. Yeah, I have reading to do, stuttered Naruto, not wanting to go with them at all. You have all night to read, come on, it'll be fun, said, trying to persuade her new friend. Naruto just stepped back, still trying to get away from the girl. Sorry Rias-chan, I really can't, I have, said Naruto, interrupted by a voice from behind him. Needs to come with me, said Venelana, walking out of the library. But didn't he just finish his lesson with you? Asked Rias. Yes he did, but I need to talk with him about his village, and there are still some other things that he and I need to discuss, declared Venelana, placing her hands on Naruto's shoulders, making the boy relax a bit. Oh okay, see you later Naruto-kun, said Rias, waving to the boy as she and her friends walked on. Yeah, see you later Rias-chan, Sona-chan, Akeno-chan, Tsubaki-chan, said Naruto with a smile and a wave. Once all four of the girls were out of view, Naruto looked up at Venelana. Thank you Venelana-sama, said Naruto, looking up at her with a grateful smile. Well, it wasn't entirely a lie, said Venelana, looking down at Naruto with a sad smile on her face. The young blonde nodded and followed Venelana as she walked away. The two of them walked through the halls of Gremory Castle, heading towards Lord Gremory's office. Walking into the office, Naruto and Venelana found that Lord Gremory wasn't alone. Oh hello Lord Phoenix-sama, we didn't mean to interrupt, said Venelana, almost backing out of the room when she spotted the blonde man. We were just finishing up anyway, no need to worry Venelana, said Lord Phoenix before he spotted Naruto behind the woman. Hello there young Naruto-kun, said Lord Phoenix, leaning down to be eye to eye with the boy, who hid behind Venelana. It's okay Naruto-kun, Lord Phoenix-sama helped save you too, H is nice, said Venelana, smiling down at the young blonde who hesitantly stepped out from behind Venelana. You look so much like your father, said Lord Phoenix, smiling at the boy who looked up with a surprised look before his face settled into a smile. Again I am sorry to interrupt, but it is fortunate that you are here, Lord Phoenix-sama. Naruto-kun has he has been, I can't even bring myself to say it, said Venelana, tears beginning to form in her eyes just thinking about the blonde's back. What's happened to Naruto-kun? Questioned Lord Gremory, looking from his wife to the young blonde. Naruto-kun, would you please take off your shirt again? Asked Venelana, looking at Naruto sympathetically. Naruto's eyes went wide and he looked scared. Gingerly turning around, Naruto began to lift his shirt, showing his two saviors his back. As his shirt began to lift, the two men's eyes widened in shock as the scars on his back became visible, and as more and more of his malnourished back became visible, the men began leaking more and more killer intent, staining the air, making Naruto shake. By the time Naruto's shirt was all the way off, the two clan heads were leaking all of their ki, making Naruto violently shake. Stop it, you two, you're scaring Naruto-kun, said Venelana, keeling down, hugging Naruto close to her. It's okay, Naruto-kun, they're not directing that at you, said Venelana, hugging Naruto, who was shaking, borderline crying, as the two men watched on before cutting off their ki, as Naruto cried against Venelana's shoulder as the brown-haired woman glared a deadly glare at the two men, who instantly were terrified of the woman's fierce glare. Both men glanced back at Naruto's skinny and scared frame. "I'm going to burn that fucking village to the ground," declared Lord Phoenix, his eyes aflame with determination. "No, don't," yelled Naruto, looking up at the man with pleading eyes, shocking all three other people in the room. "They may have done this to me, but most of the village doesn't deserve to die because of this," said Naruto, motioning to his back, once more shocking the adults. Lord Phoenix stood back and looked at Naruto before nodding to the boy. "I am surprised you have scared. Phoenix generally don't scar," declared a relatively calm Lord Phoenix. Mumbled Naruto. "What was that?" asked Lord Phoenix. "They poured salt into the wounds," said Naruto, only to once more start shaking violently. "What?" screamed Lord Phoenix, and Lord Gremory combined, once more releasing their entire ki, only to once more be glared at by Venelana, who was hugging a once more terrified Naruto, making both men stop again, fearing Venelana's wrath. "I think that just emphasizes the point that you need to learn to protect yourself," said Lord Gremory, looking to Lord Phoenix, getting a nod from the man. "So I think we need to start your magical training soon," declared Lord Gremory. Several days later, Naruto, having finished his lessons with Venelana, he began walking around the castle looking for something to do. He wasn't supposed to start his magical training until the next day, and he really didn't feel like doing more reading. Having got up to what Venelana described as an adequate reading level in the last few days, adequate apparently meaning at least a grade 7 level of reading ability, Venelana having been casting memory magic on him so as to retain all of the knowledge passed on to him during all their lessons. "Naruto-sama," spoke a voice from behind the blonde. Naruto turned to come face to face with a silver-haired and silver-eyed maid. "Yes, Grafia, said Naruto, nodding to the woman. "Lord Gremory wishes to speak with you," declared Grafia, getting a nod from the blonde. Grafia was maid Naruto would say he was the most comfortable around, not used to having people waiting on him hand and foot. Naruto walked past the silver-haired maid, who returned to her duties as the blonde walked down the halls. Walking down the halls, Naruto smiled. He did have to admit, after spending a week in the castle, he was beginning to become comfortable with most of the people. Naruto contemplated what Lord Gremory could want to see him for. Deciding it would be better to find out for sure rather than try and guess, he sped up his pace. Once more walking into Lord Gremory's office, the young blonde saw the man sitting behind his desk, pen in hand, filling out forms. Looking up from the forms, Lord Gremory saw Naruto standing at the door. Naruto-kun, good, take a seat," said Lord Gremory, pointing to a seat opposite him. Naruto nodded and sat down. Lord Gremory finished writing on the form before turning to Naruto. "Naruto-kun, the time has come. Today you get your evil pieces," said Lord Gremory, making Naruto's eyes widen in surprise before a grin found itself on his face. "Really? I get him today?" asked Naruto in a happy tone, almost bouncing up and down at the thought. "Venelana has been keeping myself and Lord Phoenix apprised of your great strides with your learning, and we all agree it would be a good idea for you to get your pieces," said Lord Gremory with a smile. Naruto couldn't contain himself. He jumped out of the seat and jumped around in happiness. Lord Gremory just smiled as Naruto jumped around happily. "Venelana will take you to get your pieces," said Lord Gremory, and Venelana walked into the room and smiled at the happy Naruto, who was still jumping around for joy. "Let's go, Naruto-kun," said Venelana with a smile. Naruto and Venelana walked down the streets of Lilith, all of Naruto's earlier excitement replaced by nervousness and a small amount of fear. Naruto stood very close to Venelana, his eyes never in the same spot for 2 seconds. The blonde was visibly terrified. The boy's actions made Venelana reconsider allowing her husband and Lord Phoenix to burn the boy's previous home to the ground. She looked down at Naruto with a look of sadness on her face. Forcing a smile onto her face, she put a comforting hand on Naruto's shoulder, making him look up at her. "It's okay, Naruto-kun, no one here will hurt you," said Venelana with a smile to the young blonde, who smiled up at the woman before looking back ahead of him, visibly much more calm, still looking around him, however no longer in fear, now just to take in the sights. Walking into a large open gardened area, the two devils followed a path through the botanical gardens. In the center of the gardens was a large stone pillar with lots and lots of intricate-looking runes spread out all over the thing. "Well, Naruto, we're here," said Venelana, looking down at Naruto with a smile only to get a confused look in return. "You touch that pillar which registers you as a king and then your pieces will form," said Venelana. Naruto raised an eyebrow but stepped forwards anyway. Stepping up to the pillar, Naruto just sent one last glance back to Venelana before putting his right hand, palm flat, on the stone pillar. Registration pending. Species: Pure Blood Devil. Ranking: High Class Devil. Clans: Phoenix, Gremory. Age: 7. Previous registration attempts: N.A. Family: Minato Phoenix. Father: Kushina Gremory. Mother. Registration approved. Please hold your left hand out, flat palm upwards. Naruto Gremory Phoenix, spoke a deep voice from within Naruto's mind. Naruto flinched before following instructions and held his left hand out, palm upwards and flat. To Naruto's great shock, a cloud of red energy formed atop his open palm. The cloud dissipated with leaving 15 blood-red chess pieces in the blonde's hand. Naruto let a grin spread across his face as he looked down at the pieces in his hand, only to raise an eyebrow as he saw 3 pieces glowing. "Wow, aren't you lucky, Naruto-kun, not 1 not 2 but 3 mutation pieces," said Venelana, looking at the pieces in Naruto's hand. On the outside she was relatively calm, but on the inside she was shocked to her core. It was rare for devils to get 1 mutation piece. It was almost unheard of for a single devil to get 2, and was inconceivable for a devil to get 3 right off the bat. Had Venelana not seen it with her own eyes, she would have never believed Naruto had 3 mutation pieces, let alone the rarest piece to have a mutation piece, the queen. The other 2 were slightly more believable given they were the same class 2 pawn mutation pieces. "You told me that mutation pieces are rare, right?" questioned Naruto, the information he had learned and the facts in front of him contradicting. "I did. You are incredibly lucky, Naruto-kun, those pieces are really powerful," said Venelana. Naruto just looked down at the pieces with an interested expression. The next day. Naruto walked out the library, his now compulsory book under his arm, quickly walking to his room so he could put the book in the room so he could begin his magical training. Running into his room, Naruto threw the book on his bed before running back out of the room and heading to Lord Gremory's office. Running down the halls, Naruto weaved, ducked and dodged the maids as they went about their business, while he ran. Running into Lord Gremory's office, the young blonde skidded to a halt in front of the man's desk. "Excited are we, Naruto-kun?" asked Lord Gremory with a knowing smile on his face. "Yes, I am," said Naruto simply with a grin. "All right, well, let's head outside so we can begin," said Lord Gremory with a smirk. Naruto nodded vigorously before turning around and walking out of the room. Lord Gremory just smirked as he stood up and a circle formed underneath his feet before it rose up, engulfing him. Naruto walked into the main hall of the castle before proceeding outside. "You took your sweet time, Naruto-kun," said Lord Gremory, who was leaning on the wall next to the large doors. "How did you get out here before me?" asked Naruto, looking around for some explanation. "Magic," said Lord Gremory mysteriously waving his hands around. "Come on Naruto-kun, we need to get started, especially given now you are officially considered a king," said Lord Gremory, getting a nod from the blonde before the two devils walked along the path leading to the castle gardens. Walking into the gardens, the two devils moved to the rear of the area so any magic to get out of hand wouldn't destroy anything important. "Alright Naruto-kun, to start you need to learn to harness your demonic energy. The best way to begin that process is for you to try and form your wings, so I want you to think of the strongest image you can think of while concentrating here and here," said Lord Gremory, touching Naruto's back on his shoulder blades one after the other, indicating where Naruto had to be concentrating on. Naruto nodded before closing his eyes while racking his brain for an image to use. It took a few moments for Naruto to come up with an image. It was from when he was 5. After being attacked by a mob, Naruto had found himself on the verge of unconsciousness, and appearing between him and the mob was a silver-haired Anbu agent, his left hand cloaked in lightning, and the alley was filled with the sounds of thousands of birds chirping. And like that the image ended, Naruto concentrated on his shoulder blades with the image of the Anbu agent, left hand cloaked in lightning. It took a few moments, but Naruto felt a pair of wings flare out from his back. Naruto opened his eyes, and to his happiness, the wings had formed like the first time he had seen his wings, black and bat-like until halfway along before turning light blue and flaming. "Well done Naruto, very well done. Not many devils get it on their first try," said Lord Gremory, making Naruto blush at the praise and smile sheepishly, breaking his concentration, making his wings vanish. "Now I want you to continue to practice that until you can do it without thinking about that image and takes no time for your wings to appear," said Lord Gremory, getting a nod from Naruto, who then proceeded to try again, his wings appearing marginally faster than before. "Good, keep on going Naruto," said Lord Gremory with a smile. The next day Naruto trudged out of the library. His body ached. He had worked a lot on his wings yesterday, but he had done some physical training which had just tired him out completely after working on his magic for so long. "Blonde hair, heterochromic eyes. You must be the Naruto-san I have been hearing so much about," declared a voice from down the hall. Naruto turned to the source of the voice and saw a young man probably no older than himself and Rias. He had black-colored spiky hair and violet eyes. "Ah, Sarug-kun, I see you've met Naruto-kun," said Venelana, stepping out of the library from behind Naruto. "Naruto-san, the name's Sarug Bale, it's nice to meet you," said the man, sticking out his hand for Naruto to shake. Naruto smiled at the man and grasped his hand. "It's nice to meet you Sarug-san, and please call me Naruto," spoke Naruto with a smile as he shook Sarug's hand. "In that case just call me Sarug," declared the black-haired man. "Well, seeing as you two are getting along, I'll leave you to it," said Venelana as she began to walk down the hallway. "So what's your story Sarug?" asked Naruto, hoping to make a friend of the man. "I'm the oldest son of Lord Bale and second heir to the title. Venelana-sama is my aunt. Rias and Sarex are my cousins," said Sarug. "Wait, oldest child but second heir? How's that work if you don't mind me asking?" questioned Naruto. "Well, I didn't inherit the power of destruction of my clan, so they denounced me as heir," said Sarug, looking down, making Naruto look at him confused. "So because you didn't inherited a special power of your clan you were denounced as heir?" questioned the blonde, requesting clarification. The blonde got a nod from Sarug. "That's fucking stupid," declared Naruto. "You should find something that you're good at and train until you're the best at it, then train some more, then beat the heir," said Naruto. "I don't know about that. That's just how things go. So what about you? What's your story, Blondie?" asked Sarug. "Well, I was born in the elemental nations and didn't even know I was a devil until about a week ago. Hell, I didn't even know about devils until a week ago," said Naruto. Before the conversation could continue, a voice called out to the two of them. "Naruto-kun, Sarug," called a voice from down the hallway. The two male devils turned to see Rias walking down the hallway towards them. "Hey Rias-chan," said Naruto with a smile and a wave. "Hi cousin," declared Sarug with a grin. "So I see you two have met," said Rias, getting a nod from the two males. "Do you two want to come and play truth or dare with Sona, Tsubaki, Akeno and me?" asked Rias. Naruto looked to Seiryug, who shrugged. Why not? Said Seiryug, walking towards Rias. Sure, said Naruto, following after the two of them. The three devils walked through the halls of the Gremory Castle, eventually coming to one of the many lounge rooms where they found Sona, Akeno and Tsubaki sitting in a circle, and in the middle of the circle sat Bottle. Rias sat down next to Akeno, Seiryug next to Tsubaki, and Naruto between the two. So you two are joining us as well? Asked Sona, looking to the two male devils, getting a nod from each of them. Just for someone who has never played this before, what are the rules? Asked Naruto, making everyone look at him. While not the most common of games, almost everyone everywhere knew of Truth or Dare. Unfortunately, this just adds to our theory of abuse to Naruto-kun, thought the four girls simultaneously. Well, the bottle in the center is spun, and whoever it points to gets to pick someone, and they either pick Truth or Dare, and then the bottle-appointed person gives them a question or dare depending on what they picked, said Rias, making Naruto nod in understanding. Rias spun the bottle. It spun around and around. Slowing down, it came to a stop, pointing at Sona. 10 minutes later, Rias once more spun the bottle. Having finished her turn, the bottle spun for a moment before slowing down until it finally came to a stop on Naruto, who looked shocked. It landed on him, but then began scratching his chin before he came up with an idea. Sona, Truth of Dare? Questioned Naruto, looking at her with a raised eyebrow. Truth, said Sona, taking a moment to think before answering. What's your dream for the future? Asked Naruto. He hadn't been playing like everyone else, he was more using this as a chance to get closer with them all. My dream for the future? Questioned Sona, looking at Naruto somewhat nervously. Naruto just nodded to her. Well, I want to open a rating games school open to all devils, not just high-class devils, said Sona anxiously, not looking at Naruto while rubbing her arm nervously. That's a great dream. I'm sure you'll do it, said Naruto, making Sona's head snap towards Naruto with a look of shock on her face. The others in the circle looked towards Naruto with intrigued looks too. What? Asked Naruto. You actually believe that I can do it? Questioned Sona. Well, sure. Why wouldn't you be able to do it? Asked Naruto, confused. The majority of devils believe that low-class devils should learn about anything to do with devils, said Sona, looking down. Well then, we'll change those views, said Naruto with a smile. Wait. You're going to help me? Questioned Sona, looking at Naruto surprised. Yeah, why wouldn't I help my friend? We are friends, aren't we, Sona? Questioned Naruto, sounding unsure of the latter fact. Of course we are, Naruto-kun, said Sona with a smile to the young blonde, making him grin at her. Alright, next spin, declared Naruto, spinning the bottle in the middle of the group. The bottle spun and spun before landing on Seiryug, who rubbed his chin. Alright. Naruto, Truth or Dare? Questioned Seiryug. Truth, declared Naruto, thinking on it for a moment. Okay. What's it like growing up in the elemental nations? Asked Seiryug, making everyone's eyes go wide. Naruto's eyes went wide before quickly returning to normal. Rias, Sona, Akeno and Tsubaki's eyes went wide before glancing at Naruto, concern and intrigue. Well, it's different from growing up here. People are taught from a young age to use chakra, which can do really cool things like make fireballs, bolts of lightning, spears of earth. People are also taught to use weapons from about the same age, like swords and kunai and stuff, said Naruto, forcing a smile as he said it, rubbing his back as he talked about weapons, which all four of the girls picked up on. His back? Why is, oh no, they couldn't not Naruto-kun, thought Sona to herself, spotting Naruto's gesture. Why is Naruto-san rubbing his? No, that can't be why, thought Tsubaki, having a similar thought to Sona. Why is he rubbing his back like tar? Oh Naruto-kun, what have they done to you? Questioned Rias, she too sharing a similar thought to that of Sona and Tsubaki. No, they wouldn't, thought Akeno to herself, seeing Naruto rubbing his back. Oh, that sounds pretty cool, said Seiryug somewhat excitedly, before he then sat forwards and spun the bottle. Once the bottle stopped, this time it was pointing to Rias, who looked up in thought for a moment before turning to Seiryug. Seiryug, Truth or Dare? Asked Rias, a smile on her face. Let's be different, declared Serug with a grin. Okay, I dare you to go and insult Grafier's cooking, said Rias with a smirk. Cyrog's skin paled as he heard the dare. No way, declared Serug looking away from the group. What's the matter, Serug, you chicken? Asked Naruto, trying to rile the young devil up. Yes, actually, have you seen that maid angry? It's not nice, and there is no way to make, began Serug, only to be interrupted by Naruto imitating chicken sounds. Naruto, shut up, ordered Serug, trying to shut the blonde up only for him to keep going. I said shut up, Naruto, repeated Serug, only for Naruto once more ignore him. Shut up, yelled Serug, slamming his fist into Naruto's gut. Serau RG, yelled Rias, looking at the doubled-over Naruto, who was wincing in pain. Serug, ugh, you know how I said earlier about finding something you're good at and, ugh, training to be the best, then training some more, said Naruto. Yeah, said Serug in a confused tone. I think we've just found what you're good at, muttered Naruto, falling forwards face first into the ground. Serug couldn't hold back a laugh at the boy, who rolled onto his back, and he too began laughing. Rias just smiled and shook her head, resting half of her face in the palm of her hand. Sai, let's do something else now, suggested Rias. Like what, Rias? Asked Sona, looking to the girl. Hot springs, suggested Rias with a shrug of the shoulders. That sounds nice, declared Sona, shrugging. Yeah, let's go, stated Akeno, standing up. I agree, said Tsubaki, pushing herself to her feet. Sounds like an idea, spoke Serug. You guys go on without me, I have stuff to do, said Naruto nervously with a smile, backing up, drawing a raised eyebrow from Serug and downtrodden looks from the four girls. Come on, Naruto-kun, it'll be fun, said Rias, hugging Naruto's arm. Please, Naruto-kun, asked Akeno, looking at Naruto with a pout. We just want to hang out more, please, Naruto-kun, said Sona, tilting her head to the side, holding her hands together in front of her stomach. Please, Naruto-san, spoke Tsubaki, looking at him sadly. Come on, buddy, you can't honestly say no to these faces, can ya? Asked Serug, throwing an arm over Naruto's shoulder. Naruto sighed and nodded. All right, let's go, said Naruto, defeated by his friends, following their lead as they walked towards the hot springs. #hot springs. Several minutes later, Naruto walked with Serug into the male change rooms. He had several options. He could wait until Serug had gone before and then leave, but he would get an even bigger guilt trip from everyone if he did so. That option was out. He could change as quickly as possible and be the first in and last out of the water, or he could wait until everyone else had got into the water and hope the steam would cover his scars. The second option is the thought Naruto to himself, only to be interrupted. You coming, Naruto? Asked Serug, who had already apparently changed and was headed in. Yeah, I'll be in a moment, declared Naruto, inwardly cursing at his slow speed. Naruto quickly stripped down and changed, wrapping a towel around his waist before walking out into the actual hot springs, only to see all 5 of the other devils already there, and minimal steam. Once more Naruto inwardly cursed his luck. Walking along the side of the hot springs, Naruto heard several sharp intakes of breath behind him. Naruto, buddy, why your back, stuttered Serug, seeing the blonde's scared back. Now do you guys see why I was so hesitant? Asked Naruto, looking away from the 5 devils, holding his left upper arm with his right hand. I'm sorry, I can't do this, said Naruto, turning back around and briskly walking back to the change rooms. Naruto sat in front of Venelana in the library, reading a book she had asked him to read. It was about time their lesson ended, and Venelana was looking at Naruto sadly. Naruto-kun, I wish you would stop avoiding Rias, Akeno, Sona, Tsubaki and Serug, said Venelana, looking at the blonde, making him look up from his book. I can't, Venelana-sama, they saw my scars, and they won't let me forget about them. I don't want someone to hurt the people who gave them to me, I just want to forget about them, said Naruto with a sigh. It had been a few days since the incident. He really didn't want to avoid them, but every time he tried to talk with them they would bring up his scars. It didn't help that Serug and his mother were staying in the castle for a while, so he would run into the young devil quite often. Rias was the worst, though she looked at him as if he was made of glass and so much as breathing on him wrong would make him shatter. Well, leave it here for today. Naruto-kun, just finish reading that book by tomorrow, said Venelana. Naruto nodded, and pulling out his bookmark he marked his page before closing the book and getting up. Walking towards the door of the library, Naruto tucked the book under his arm as Venelana walked behind him. Naruto-kun, called a voice from down the hall. Naruto sadly closed his eyes and looked down. Sorry Rias, busy, maybe later, said Naruto before he quickly took off down the hallway in the opposite direction to Rias, who stood there almost crying, looking as Naruto just short of ran down the hall. Rias, sweetie, he just want to move on and forget about his scars, said Venelana looking down at her daughter. How can he? His back is covered in scars, Ka-chan. How can he move on? Who the hell would do that to Naruto-kun? Questioned Rias looking at her mother. Rias-chan, you're causing Naruto-kun just as much if not more pain by forcing him to remember what happened to him when he just wants to forget, declared Venelana, making Rias' eyes go wide as she realized what she had been doing to Naruto, and she looked down, tears forming in her eyes. Naruto-kun, spoke Rias, hugging herself with a hand over her now crying eyes as she dropped to her knees. With Naruto. Naruto walked down the hall. Today was not a good day. Once more Sona and Tsubaki were over, so he had 5 people to avoid rather than the 3 of most days, but luckily he made it to his room to drop off his book without incident. Unfortunately, the walk to Lord Gremory's office so he could start his magical training for the day was less so when he ran into Sairog. Naruto, buddy, can we talk, please? Questioned Sairog, walking up to Naruto, who looked up at his friend. Sorry Sairog, I need to see Lord Gremory-sama, said Naruto, walking past the man only for his arm to be snatched by Sairog. Look Naruto, I'm sorry about bringing up those scars every time we've talked. I promise I won't bring 'em up anymore, said Sairog, looking down at the ground as Naruto looked back at him. Just please stop avoiding me. To be honest Naruto, you're one of my only friends, even if we barely know anything about each other, and you're one of the only people besides my mother who believes I can reclaim the title of Bale Heir, said Sairog, his free hand clenching into a fist. I accept your apology Sairog, but I do actually have to go, said Naruto, shaking his arm free of Sairog's grip. Well, talk later, said Naruto as he left, waving to the black-haired devil. Naruto walked through the halls, thankfully arriving at Lord Gremory's office without further trouble. Walking into the office, Naruto found Lord Phoenix was also in the office. Oh sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, said Naruto, going to step back out of the office. You weren't interrupting Naruto-kun, we were waiting for you, said Lord Phoenix. We decided given how quickly you are advancing with your magic it's time for you to begin learning what Lord Phoenix has to teach you, said Lord Gremory, making Naruto look to the blonde-haired man who smiled down at the blonde. So you'll be coming with me for the afternoon Naruto-kun, said Lord Phoenix with a smile. Naruto smiled and nodded. Let's go, declared Naruto with a smile. Lord Phoenix nodded and walked over to Naruto, placing a hand on the boy's shoulder before a ring formed under the 2 of them. Rising upwards, the 2 devils vanished. Phoenix Castle. The 2 blonde devils appeared in a grassy field with a great stone castle nearby. Alright Naruto, Lord Gremory-sama was telling me that you have almost perfected summoning your wings at will and have started on focusing your magical energy to different points of your body, said Lord Phoenix. Yes Lord Phoenix-sama, replied Naruto, getting a nod from the Phoenix clan head. Alright, I want you to summon your wings for me please, said Lord Phoenix, getting a nod from Naruto, who then flared out his 2 wings, the bat-like wings, until halfway where they burst into blue flames. Lord Phoenix looked at Naruto with a raised eyebrow. Okay Naruto, I want you to concentrate your magical energy on your hands and wave them through the flaming parts of your wings, said Lord Phoenix. Naruto nodded, channeling magic energy to his hands before waving his hand through his flaming wings, and to his shock 2 balls of blue fire came out with his hands. Wow, this is cool, said Naruto, moving his hands around with the blue fire. However, his concentration of the magical power to his hands faltered and the flames dissipated. Ah damn it, muttered Naruto, looking at his now flameless hands.
It's okay Naruto, just focus magical energy on your hands and put them through your wings again, however this time I want you to try and manipulate the flames with only you mind, no moving your hands, said Lord Phoenix, getting a determined nod from Naruto.
Later that night, Gremory Castle. Naruto sat on his bed, a book in his hands. He had returned to Gremory Castle by teleportation circle courtesy of Lord Phoenix just in time for dinner, which had been rather awkward as Naruto could constantly feel the eyes of Rias, Sona, Akeno and Tsubaki all on him, so he had just keep his head down as he ate. And after dinner he and Sarug had hung out for a while, and now he was just finishing off the reading Venelana had told him to do. As the blonde finished the book and put it down on his bedside table with his now not needed bookmark on top of it, he heard the door open. Looking up, he was surprised to see Sona and Rias standing in his doorway. "May we come in, Naruto-kun?" asked Sona. "Yeah, come on in," said Naruto with a sigh, looking at the bed. He had been avoiding him enough. The two girls walked into the room and climbed onto the bed in front of Naruto before sitting facing him. "Naruto-kun, we came to say sorry," said Sona, making Naruto look up at them. "Ka-chan told me earlier today that by constantly asking you about your scars we were causing you more pain. So sorry, Naruto-kun," said Rias, shifting forwards and hugging Naruto. "We really didn't think about it that way. Nor did we look at it from your perspective of just wanting to forget about them. Sorry, Naruto-kun," said Sona. She too shifted forwards and hugged Naruto. Naruto stiffened at the contact of both girls but quickly snapped out of it as their words processed in his mind, and he smiled and tears began to form in his eyes as he wrapped an arm around each of the two girls hugging him.
"Thank you," muttered Naruto, making both girls smile until they felt something wet on their necks. Pulling back, they both saw Naruto crying.
"Naruto-kun, why are you crying?" asked Sona, as she wiped the tears from one of his eyes while Rias wiped the tears from his other eye. "I'm just so happy you two are my friends," said Naruto with a wobbly smile. "Well, of course, silly, why wouldn't we be friends? What did you think we'd stop being your friends because of you didn't talk to us for a while?" questioned Rias, looking at Naruto laughing, only to stop laughing when she saw him nod.
"Oh, Naruto-kun, nothing like that would make us stop being your friends," said Sona with a smile as she and Rias once more hugged Naruto, whose wobbly smile fell as he started crying on their shoulders. The two Devil Clan heiresses just smiled sadly as Naruto cried on their shoulders. However, their sad smiles turned to tears of their own as they realized that Naruto would have only had that thought process from having something similar happen in the past.
His life must have been just short of torture, thought Sona to herself as a few tears fell for her friend. "I'm so sorry for all you've had to deal with, Naruto-kun, but no more, I swear on that," thought Rias with determination as she wiped some tears from her eyes. The two girls both independently decided to let Naruto cry as long as he needed to. When his tears slowed from the constant crying to the occasional sniffle, the two girls pulled back. "Better now, Naruto-kun?" asked Rias, looking at the boy only to find him asleep. Rias and Sona shared a smile. "Sleep well, Naruto-kun," spoke Sona. The next morning. Naruto awoke from one of the best night's sleeps he'd ever had. Looking over to his bedside table to see what time it was, Naruto couldn't see past the pair of glasses resting on the bedside table. "Wait, glasses?" questioned Naruto, looking once more. Yet they were defiantly there. It was then that Naruto noticed out of the corner of his eye. "Black hair?" questioned Naruto, looking next to him. He saw a head of black hair. Naruto went to flick off the cover only to notice he couldn't move either of his arms. Looking to his other side, Naruto saw red hair. "What the?" thought Naruto until he felt both people shift and both rolled to face him. "Morning, Naruto-kun," spoke the still sleepy voice of Rias. "Good morning, Naruto-kun," said Sona from the other side of the blonde before she reached out and took her glasses from the bedside table, putting them on before looking back at Naruto with a smile. What are you two doing in my bed?" asked Naruto, looking from one girl to the other, still confused about what was going on. "Rias-sama, Naruto-sama, Sona-sama, you three are awake," said Grafia, walking into the room. "Sona-sama, your sister arrived about an hour ago to collect you at Tsubaki-sama, but is now in a deep conversation with Sarex-sama," said Grafia, making Sona's eyes go wide. Gulping, she quickly jumped out of bed. "Bye Naruto-kun, bye Rias, see you two next time," said Sona, rushing out of the room, revealing she was only clad in underwear. "Rias-sama, Sarex-sama is waiting to begin your training for the day," said Grafia, making Rias to jump out of bed before running out of the room. "Bye Naruto-kun, see you later," said Rias, running out of the room, nothing covering her form at all. "Naruto-sama, Lord Gremory-sama requests your presence in his office," said Grafia before turning to leave. "Grafia, nay wait," said Naruto, causing the maid to turn back to him. "Yes Naruto-sama?" questioned the maid. "Why weren't you surprised to see the three of us in the same bed?" asked Naruto. "That's simple Naruto-sama, I already knew most people within the castle knew. After all, the maids need to keep track of you children, and Lord Gremory-sama, Venelana-sama and Sarex-sama all like to check on you and Rias before they go to bed themselves," said Grafia before she once more turned on her heels and walked away. Naruto quickly got out of bed and dressed himself, quickly walked out of his room towards Lord Gremory's office. He walked as quickly as he could to the office. Not being interrupted, Naruto made it to Lord Gremory's office within several minutes. Walking into the room, he found that Lord Gremory wasn't alone. There was Venelana, Lord Phoenix and the blonde-haired blue-eyed woman standing next to Lord Phoenix. "You wanted to see me Lord Gremory-sama?" questioned Naruto, making all four adults turn to him. "Ah yes Naruto-kun, come in," said Lord Gremory with a smile, calling the boy in. "This is Lady Phoenix, Lord Phoenix's wife," said Lord Gremory, motioning to the blonde-haired woman. "But you can call me Ruby, Naruto-kun," declared Lady Phoenix, rolling her eyes and glaring at Lord Gremory before smiling at Naruto, who smiled back at the woman before nodding. "Naruto-kun, we know how you feel about this, but this will be the last time we ask this of you," said Venelana, drawing Naruto's attention to her. "Scars?" asked the young blonde, getting a nod from the brunette. Naruto turned around and once more took off his shirt, showing his scared back and his still slightly undernourished stomach to the four adults in the room. Lord Phoenix and Lord Gremory both clenched their fists and looked away from Naruto. Venelana looked down, tears threatening to form in her eyes. Ruby, however. "Oh Naruto-kun, what did that village do to you?" muttered Ruby as she walked over to Naruto and pulled the young child into a hug. "I'm so sorry Naruto. If I had known I would have taken you away sooner," declared Ruby. "It's okay Ruby-sama, it's in the past now," said Naruto, patting the woman's top hand. "No Naruto-kun, don't call me Ruby-sama, I will not have my nephew calling me something so formal," said Ruby, shocking Naruto. "Oh Oba-san?" questioned Naruto, not sure he heard her right and at the same time testing the word. "Yes Naruto-kun, I'm your aunt," declared Ruby. Sorry to interrupt this family reunion, but should we not get on to why we called Naruto-kun here in the first place?" questioned Lord Gremory, making Ruby step back from Naruto before nodding to the other devils. "Naruto-kun, we called you here to tell you we might be able to get rid of your scars," said Lord Gremory, making Naruto go wide-eyed. "How?" asked Naruto. His eyes were drawn to Ruby, who pulled something out of her pocket, and upon closer inspection it was red-pointed cork bottle which appeared to have a clear liquid inside. "Are those Phoenix tears?" asked Naruto with a raised eyebrow. "Well done Naruto-kun, yes, these are Phoenix tears. Drinking this should cure any injury, which given the only injury you have are the scars on your back, the healing power should concentrate on them," said Ruby with a smile, holding out the bottle which Naruto gently took from her. Naruto, once he had the bottle, he uncorked it before tipping his head back and drinking the whole thing in one go. He then felt a surge of magic towards his back. Naruto could literally feel as his skin begin to repair itself. After about 20 seconds, Naruto felt the magic die down from his back. "Is it done?" asked Naruto, his back to the adults who looked confused. Making Naruto nervous, he moved quickly over to a mirror within the office, only to see almost all of his scars healed except for the word demon carved into his back and maybe half a dozen more, which were all big ones that had been improved. "What the hell happened? All of the scars should have been healed?" questioned Lord Gremory, looking towards Lord Phoenix and Ruby. Those were perfect tears, otherwise none of the scars would have healed, said Lord Phoenix, looking down trying to work out what was wrong. Venelana and Ruby, however, were looking over at Naruto and could see tears forming in his eyes. Naruto, sweetie, it's okay, well fine, began Ruby, interrupted by Naruto. This is better than I could have ever hoped, spoke Naruto softly, looking at his back in the mirror, his words drawing the attention of all the adults in the room. What? Questioned Lord Gremory. The doctors of Konoha said my back would never be able to be healed. This is better than I could have ever dreamt of. Thank you all, said Naruto, making all four of the adults look at him shocked before they smiled at the boy. His happiness was infectious, it seemed. Is that all, Lord Gremory-sama? Questioned Naruto, getting a nod from the man before Naruto pulled his shirt back on and leaving the room. I still want to know what stopped those scars healing, muttered Lord Phoenix, looking down. I think there was residual chakra, I think is what the ninja call it, left in the wounds, said Venelana, drawing everyone's attention to her. Several days later, castle grounds. Naruto stood with Akeno in the castle grounds. The two devils were alone as Rias had been called away by her father and mother about something. In the past couple of days, Akeno and Tsubaki, like Serug, Rias and Sona, had apologized to Naruto. The blonde himself had been taught by Lord Phoenix how to create fire from nothing, by exciting the molecules in the air enough to make them vibrate at speeds that made them burst into flames. Naruto was having a bit of trouble with it, so he had sought out Akeno, who he knew had a grasp on making fire this way. Okay, so Naruto-kun, you have to, began Akeno, interrupted by the sound of flapping around the two of them. Akeno-sama, enough is enough, your father wants you to come home, declared a voice from above the two devils, who both looked up to see half a dozen fallen angels who promptly dropped down around Akeno. You can tell him like all the other times he can go to hell, I never want to see him again, snarled Akeno, only for her to ghostly pale as she heard a voice. You're a fallen angel? Questioned Naruto, making Akeno turn to him, her face one of terror before it morphed into one of sadness, and she nodded. Oi, you fallen angel bastards, get away from my friend before I roast you all alive, declared Naruto, making Akenos' head snap in Naruto's direction. She saw him smiling at her. Naruto-kun? Questioned Akeno. You're my friend Akeno, I never abandon my friends, declared Naruto. What the hell are you going to do, devil boy? Questioned one of the fallen angels, smirking at the blonde boy. I said get away from her, yelled Naruto, red bubbly chakra forming around his body. His whole body became covered in the yokai. A pair of fox-ear-shaped yokai bubbles formed on his head, as did a tail-like shape. Naruto flared his wings out behind him, free from the red bubbly cloak. Crap, H's a yokai, declared one of the fallen angels. Naruto-kun? Questioned Akeno, looking at her friend, whose normal heterochromic eyes had changed and replaced with a pair of blood-red eyes. Blue flames cloaked Naruto's hands as he blurred forwards, throwing balls of blue flame forwards, making the fallen angels jump back, and Naruto appeared between Akeno and the fallen angels. You okay, Akeno-chan? Asked the yokai-coated Naruto, looking back at Akeno, who nodded him blankly. Naruto then turned back to the fallen angels in front of him, glaring at them. The blonde bolted forwards, his fingernails sharpening into claws which became cloaked in blue fire. Jumping at one of the fallen angels, Naruto went to swipe at the man, only for him jump backwards, and Naruto was not quick enough to avoid a spear of light that flew out of nowhere and pierced Naruto's shoulder. Naruto-kun? Screamed Akeno, who looked on in shock as Naruto grimaced as he simply ripped the weapon out of his shoulder, which began to steam a bit. Naruto then ran at the fallen angels again. This is my fight, I have to help, thought Akeno to herself as she held her hand out, and a yellow magical circle formed in front of her hand, and lightning shot out of the circle at the fallen angels, who looked at her in shock, giving Naruto just enough time to lunge forwards and swipe at their neck, leaving 3 deep claw marks on their neck which spurt blood out like water fountains. However, Naruto didn't see that as he blurred onto the next target. You son of a bitch, growled another of the fallen angels, looking at Naruto, all of them forming light spears. Naruto once more blurred forwards towards the fallen angels. Just as one of the men was about to slam a light spear into the beastly Naruto, he was hit with lightning courtesy of Akeno, who smirked a sadistic smirk as Naruto slammed his yokai and flame-coated hand through the shocked fallen angel's chest. Instead of pulling his hand out, Naruto incinerated the body and let the ashes fall off as he stalked forwards. The fallen angels backed up a bit. "Come on you lot, we have a job to do," declared one of the fallen angels, giving them confidence once more. The four men formed light spears ready to fight. Naruto charged forwards, jumping up, two large balls of flame forming in his hands as he flew through the air. Naruto threw the fireballs as he drew closer to the fallen angels, however at the same time his target thrust forwards, his light spear piercing Naruto's gut, making him fall back.
"Naruto-kun!" screamed Akeno, rushing forwards as the yokai receded from Naruto's skin. Naruto was writhing in pain as Akeno slid to a stop right next to him, crying.
"Hey Akeno-chan, DD, don't cry," muttered Naruto, reaching up to her as his eyes began to close. As Naruto's arm fell limply at his side, a black and red energy attack flew out of nowhere and disintegrated the last of the fallen angels in the blink of an eye. #unknown location. Naruto's eyes fluttered open and he found himself looking upwards into darkness with walls to the side of him. Sitting up, Naruto found himself in what looked like a sewer crossed with a boiler room. Naruto sat up and saw there were pipes running along the walls about 6 foot up. One was red and the other was blue. Naruto looked down and he saw he was sitting in water. Standing up, Naruto felt no water on his clothes. Looking up and down the corridors, Naruto decided to explore a bit, so he began walking down the halls. After what felt like hours of walking, Naruto came upon a huge room, half of which was cut off by bars with a block in the middle that had the kanji for seal on it. "Hello?" called Naruto into the darkness. "Naru-chan, is that you?" called a distinctly female voice from behind the bars. "How do you know my name?" questioned Naruto, confused. That was until a human shape appeared from the shadows of the bars. "Keika-chan?" questioned Naruto, looking at the woman who looked exactly like his mother from what he had seen from pictures of her: ankle-length red hair, dark blue eyes. "Naru-chan," said the woman with her arms out wide in a hugging motion. "I don't get it, how are you alive?" questioned Naruto, making Kushina frown a bit. "Naruto, how much do you know about Konoha and the QB attack?" questioned Kushina. "I was told that the QB just suddenly appeared on the day I was born and ran rampart in Konoha until Tusan came in and teleported the QB away and sacrificed himself to kill it," said Naruto. "Well, that is partially right. The QB did attack on the day you were born running rampart in Konoha, and your father did teleport it away and sacrifice himself, but not to kill it.
The QB had been sealed in me, however when a female Jinchuriki, holder of a Biju, gives birth, the seal is weakened. While the seal was in this weakened state, a masked man attacked me. You and your father, taking you hostage, he separated your father and me and ripped the QB out of the seal, then with his Sharingan forced the beast to attack Konoha. Your father teleported the QB away to reseal it. I begged him to seal it back in me, but we both knew he couldn't do that, so we had to seal it in a new host, you. However, in that seal Minato also sealed part of his and my souls. What neither he nor myself had realized was that my soul and the QB had begun to merge from the years that it had spent sealed within me. My soul latched onto the QB and we fully merged and have spent the last 7 years fighting for control over the yokai, mind and body of the QB, explained Kushina. "And you won?" questioned Naruto. "Partially we fused and I may have gained some traits of the QB, but I am the dominant mind," so said Kushina, interrupted by Naruto launching himself at her, hugging her. She smiled and hugged Naruto back. "So tell me about yourself, Naru-chan, I want to know all about my baby boy," said Kushina with a smile towards her son, who was looking up at her with tears in his eyes. #Gremory Castle. Naruto lay unconscious in his bed. He had been like that since the fallen angels attacked, and sitting next to the bed watching over him was Akeno, Rias, Sona, and Tsubaki. Cyborg had been coming and going from the blonde's room. Akeno looked a mess, having been worrying over Naruto since he had fallen unconscious. The blonde devil's eyes fluttered open, startling everyone, but before anyone could say anything, Akeno threw herself at him. Naruto-kun, thank Lucifer-sama, you're okay, said Akano, hugging the blonde. Akano-chan, I'm fine. I'm fine, what about you, are you okay? Asked Naruto, looking her dead in the eyes. I'm fine thanks to you, Naruto-kun, said Akano with a smile towards the blonde.
Are you sure you're okay, Naruto-kun? You did get hit by a pair of light spears which are poisonous to devils, said Rias, looking at Naruto with a concerned look. Yeah, I'm good, Car-chan made sure of that, said Naruto, confusing the four girls look at him confused. Yo, your mother, didn't you tell us she was dead? Questioned Sona. She was, at least I thought she was, but her soul merged with the soul of a yokai sealed in me, said Naruto. You do know how strange that sounds, right, Naruto-san? Questioned Tsubaki. Yes I do, but it's the best I have. I met her while I was unconscious, said Naruto, looking down. We're not saying we don't believe you, Naruto-kun, it's just you were essentially poisoned. Devils have been proved to hallucinate under small amounts of holy energy, spoke Sona, making Naruto look down in sadness. Well, his story is at the very least partially true. There is a yokai sealed within him, said Lord Gremory, walking into the room, along with a sacred gear, thought Lord Gremory to himself. He had been feeling the presence of the sacred gear since Naruto had started his magic training, and Lord Phoenix had told him he had felt it too, but neither had said anything as they was incredibly confused on how Naruto, a pure-blooded devil, had a sacred gear. It's debatable whether it is actually Kushina though, said Lord Gremory. Naru-chan say to him the first time he tried to use a sword he almost cut off his left hand, said Kushina's voice from inside Naruto's mind. Car-chan says to say that the first time you tried to use a sword, Lord Gremory, you nearly cut off your left hand, spoke Naruto, making everyone turn to him before looking back to Lord Gremory, who had wide eyes. Damn it, Kushina, of all the things you could pick, it had to be that? Questioned Lord Gremory, causing all of the young devils to snicker. So it is his mother? Asked Rias after she finished snickering. Yes, until now only Kushina knew about that, said Lord Gremory, puffing out his cheeks like a child. Anyway, Naruto, I just came by to check on you, and now that you're awake I can apologize for those fallen angels getting that far and attacking you, said Lord Gremory. It's okay, Lord Gremory. So how long have I been out anyway? Asked Naruto. 3 days, said Rias simply. 3 days? Questioned Naruto, not believing it. Yeah, 3 days. We were all worried about you, said Akeno, hugging Naruto. Also, Naruto, know that once you are better was stepping up your training, said Lord Gremory. Bring it on, declared Naruto with smirk. You may come to regret those words, Naruto, said Lord Gremory with his own smirk, before he left the room. Several hours later, Naruto was walking around the castle grounds, having been left alone by his friends to finish the reading he was supposed to do on the day he was attacked. He was now up and about. Walking outside, Naruto found himself wandering through the castle grounds. Hey Naruto-kun, come here, there's someone I want you to meet, called Rias, waving to Naruto. The blonde devil walked over to his friend. Naruto saw a girl with white hair and gold eyes looking nervous next to Rias. Naruto-kun, this is Koneko-chan, she is my rook, said Rias, holding Koneko's shoulders as she introduced the girl to Naruto. Hey Koneko-chan, nice to meet you, said Naruto with a smile. The white-haired girl looked up at him and let a small smile grace her features before in an instant the smile was gone. You smell like a fox, said Koneko, looking up at Naruto. I have a kitsune sealed in me, that's probably why, said Naruto. Hey wait, how can you smell a fox on me? Asked Naruto, looking down at the girl. Shusha's a nekomata, said Rias. Wait, wasn't there something about, began Naruto, only for Rias to cover his mouth. Shusha's the younger sister of the one that went crazy and attacked her master, and don't talk about it in front of her, whispered Rias to Naruto, who quickly nodded. Several days later, Naruto stood in the castle grounds of Phoenix Castle. Opposite him was Ruby. Now Naruto-kun, show me what progress you made on making fire from nothing, said Ruby. Naruto nodded before holding his hand out, palm facing his aunt. It took several seconds, but then the air between them burst into flames which turned blue. Good Naruto-kun, good, now show me your manipulation, said Ruby. Naruto nodded and began manipulating the fire into different shapes and sizes before Naruto made several rings of fire around himself. "Excellent, Naruto, well done. With that, I think it's time we work out what your fire can do," said Ruby. "What my fire can do?" asked Naruto, not sure what she was talking about. "Yeah, your blue fire is unique to you and is unheard of. We think it's a mutation from your Gremory blood and we have no idea what it can actually do, if it's just a simple color change or if there's more to it than that," said Ruby, shocking Naruto. He hadn't really begun to learn about the devil clans of the underworld yet, but he knew his blood was special. "Okay, what did you have in mind?" asked Naruto. "Well, there are a few things that have been discussed between myself, my husband, Lord Gremory, and Venilana. But to start with, we're just going to have you create fire and see if I can take control of it," said Ruby. "How would that be helpful?" asked Naruto. "Well, normal fire users coming up against a pyrokinetic can lose control of their fire to the pyrokinetic, which as a Phoenix is one of our main sources of attack. Losing our fire can be the difference between life and death, and like I said, we have no ideas on the properties of your fire. For all we know, control of it could rely exclusively with you," proclaimed Ruby. Naruto nodded and once more held out his hand before seconds later the air burst into flames. "All right, Naruto-kun, I want out to make a fireball the size of a basketball," said Ruby. "Okay, Oba-san," said Naruto before increasing the size of the fireball to the requested size. "Okay, Naruto-kun, I'm about to try and take control of the fire. I want you to try and resist if you feel your control slipping," declared Ruby, getting a nod from Naruto. The pure Phoenix then tried to manipulate Naruto's fireball, but to her surprise she couldn't. Even as she said all of the advantages to Naruto's fire manipulation being unique to him, she wasn't expecting it to be true. She tried again to manipulate his fire, but again no success. "Okay, Naruto-kun, you can stop now. I can't manipulate the fireball," declared Ruby, making Naruto grin. "Don't smile yet, Naruto-kun, there's still a lot more to do," said Ruby. "What next?" asked Naruto. "Okay, next we want to see if you taking control of another's fire turns it into your blue fire," said Ruby, making a serpent of fire for Naruto to take control of. Naruto concentrated for a moment on the fire before he felt his control over it become solid. Ruby watched on as the flame serpent turned light blue and followed Naruto's manipulation. Once more she tried to take control of the fire. However, despite it being her fire, Naruto's control over the fire was absolute. "Okay, Naruto, that's good. Now we need to head back to Gremory Castle," said Ruby, getting a nod from Naruto, who focused magical energy on his feet, creating a teleportation ring, and with that he vanished, Ruby quickly following Naruto's lead and vanishing in a teleportation ring. #Gremory Castle. Naruto and Ruby appeared at the front gates of the castle. Naruto, following Ruby's lead, walked into the garden area where they found Venilana, Sarex, Graphia, Rias, Akeno, Sona, Tsubaki, Serug and Cyroorg's mother there. "Hey everyone," said Naruto with a smile. They all smiled and waved. "So what are we testing now, Ruby Oba?" asked Naruto, looking to his aunt. "You fires use as a shield," declared the blonde woman. "Rias honey, you volunteered to help your up," declared Venilana, getting a nod from her daughter, who stood up and walked over to opposite Naruto. "Now in case Naruto's fire is all offense and no defense, Naruto create a wall of flames next to you. Rias aim you power of destruction at the firewall," spoke Ruby, getting a nod from the two young devils. Naruto stood there and created a small ball of fire before manipulating it into a large wall of flames that floated next to the young Phoenix Gremory. "Ready whenever you are, Rias-chan," declared Naruto, holding the wall of flames at the ready. Rias nodded and began focusing her own magical power around her hands. A red magic circle formed in front of her, and out of it shot a serpent-like flow of a red and black aura that flew right at the flames, only for the destructive magic to hit the wall and stop dead. The female Phoenix nodded at the results, almost expecting as much. "Okay, thank you, Rias-chan," said Ruby. Rias curtsied before walking back over to the rest of the devils. "Next up, water," said Ruby before looking over to the group of devils. "Sona-chan, your turn," said Venilana, getting a nod from the Citri heiress, who stood up and walked over opposite Naruto. Okay, you two just aim at each other, but try to keep it calm as you're aiming at each other," said Ruby. The two young devils nodded. Blue magic circles forming in front of each of them. Sona's a dark blue, light blue for Naruto, and in the blink of an eye a water dragon shot forwards out of Sona's magic circle, while out of Naruto shot a stream of fire. No one was expecting anything to happen, but as soon as the two magics hit each other, and in the blink of an eye the flames engulfed the water dragon and shot back at Sona, hitting her, burning her. "Sona-chan!" screamed everyone as Naruto ran forwards and was beside Sona before anyone else. Ruby held up her arms, stopping everyone from approaching them. As soon as Naruto appeared in front of Sona, she backed up a bit. "Sona-chan, I'm so sorry. Here, let me help you," said Naruto, reaching forwards. Sona flinched away, but Naruto reached forwards, his hands becoming cloaked in his flames as he touched her skin. However, instead of burning the skin of the purple-eyed girl, the burns from the previous attack began to heal, shocking everyone including Naruto. Naruto sat with Sona, Tsubaki, Rias, Akeno, Koneko and Seirug. The group of them was simply outside enjoying the sunlight and fresh air, all of them having finished their various activities anywhere from half an hour to 2 hours ago. "Naruto-sama, Rias-sama, Sona-sama, Tsubaki-san, Akeno-san, Lord Gremory wished to speak with you five," said Graphia, walking up to the group of young devils. The five mentioned devils turned to look at the woman before standing up. "Let's go see what he wants," said Naruto, shrugging as he looked to his four friends, who nodded. "Well, be back soon," said Rias, turning to the two remaining young devils. "No rush, Rias-sama," said Koneko with a small smile as stretched before laying back on the ground. The five young devils followed Graphia, who led him to surprise Lord Gremory's office. Walking into the office, they found Lord Gremory, Lord Phoenix and "Father, why are you here?" asked Sona, confused, looking at the last man in the room. "I came here with an idea for these two regarding the five of you," said Sona's father, getting raised eyebrows from the young devils. "There has been a number of Rouge Devils gathering in London the last couple of weeks, and as such we are sending you five to investigate. Graphia will be accompanying you, however she has already been instructed that if you end up getting into a fight with these Rouge Devils, that she is not to interfere unless it appears that one of you is going to die," said Lord Gremory. "But father, what about Koneko? Shouldn't she be accompanying us as well? She is part of my peerage as well," questioned Rias. "Normally that would be the case, but she has little to no training of any form and would be more a hinder than a help," said Lord Gremory, getting a reluctant nod from the Gremory heiress. "When do we leave?" asked Naruto. "As soon as you five are ready," said Lord Gremory, getting a nod from the five children. About an hour later, the five young devils once more stood in Lord Gremory's office, all five of them having spent the last hour packing what they needed for a week in the overworld should it come to that. "Are you five set?" asked Graphia, looking at the five young devils she was watching over for however long the mission turned out to be, getting a nod from each of them. "All right, well, here we go," said Graphia, creating a teleportation circle beneath the six of them. Unknown location. The six devils materialized in what appeared to be an abandoned warehouse. Looking around, the young devils noticed Graphia had vanished, likely just after they materialized to let them do what was asked of them while she watched over them. "So what's the plan?" asked Naruto, looking to his friends. He had no experience in anything like this. His only experience beside his magical training was hiding and running. "Well, first of all we need to locate the Rouge Devils," said Rias, rubbing her chin. "That should be rather easy given devils have a rather unique energy signature compared to the rest of the humans in this city," said Sona, adjusting her glasses. "Got them," muttered Naruto, making the girls look back at him. "What?" asked Naruto, noticing their stares. "That was quick," said Sona, raising an eyebrow. "Well, like you said, devils give off a different energy signature. Come on, I'll lead the way," said Naruto, walking over to an exit to the building before stealthily looking out of the building once more, confusing the four girls. "What are you doing, Naruto-san?" questioned Tsubaki, looking at the blonde. "Checking to make sure the coast is clear so we can fly out of here," said Naruto, getting a nod from the four girls. "The coast is clear, come on," said Naruto, flaring his wings out as he took off out of the building, the four girls following quickly after him. Are you sure you can sense the stray devils, Naruto-kun? I can't sense anything, declared Rias with a confused look. Yeah, me neither. Are you sure, Naruto-kun? Asked Sona, looking towards her friend. Yes, I'm sure, said Naruto as he led the four girls towards where he could sense multiple different energies. The four girls followed him. It took a few moments, but Sona and Rias were soon able to sense the stray devils, confusing the two clan heiresses. I wonder why he could sense them from so much further away, questioned Sona, looking at Naruto as she followed him. The five devils landed near yet another abandoned building. So what now, Naruto-kun? Questioned Akeno, looking to the leader of five of them. Wait here a second and suppress your power as best you can, said Naruto before jumping up onto the roof of the building. He crept over to a glass section of the roof, taking careful consideration to not allow a shadow to be cast from his form. Naruto looked through the glass at the devils. They all looked basically humanoid, but then again this was while they were unaware they were being watched. There were three of them there, one woman, two men. The woman had long dark hair, and from what Naruto could see she had red eyes. She also had a pair of bat-like wings, similar, but at the same time different from the devil's own wings. He had seen wings like that before. That's right, they're succubus wings, muttered Naruto looking down through the glass. So apparently there were two stray devils and a succubus. The two men didn't look like much, both skinny, both had dark brown hair, one had blue eyes while the other had green eyes. Naruto quickly and silently moved back down to his friends. What did you find, Naruto-san? Asked Tsubaki, looking at the blonde. We have a pair of stray devils and a succubus from the looks of it, said the blonde, looking at his four friends. All right, here's the place, began Naruto, interrupted by screaming coming from inside the building. Quickly moving to the entrance, Naruto and his friends, who could no longer sense the stray devils inside, but another presence replaced them. Naruto, leading the five of them, quickly slipped inside and hid stealthily in the doorway to the warehouse's main area. Whoever is there, you can come out, your boss is dead, came a disembodied voice from within the room. We will come out, but you are mistaken, they were not our boss, we were here to eliminate them, much like yourself, Draculina, said Naruto, stressing the last word, making all other occupants of the room, including the hidden Grayfear and the woman herself, go wide-eyed. How did you know? Questioned the distinctly feminine voice. My mother has met your kind before, said Naruto simply as he and his party stepped out of the doorway and into the room. My, aren't you five a little young to be out on your own? Questioned the voice sarcastically. We have shown ourselves, would you at least do us the same courtesy? Questioned Naruto. The shadows gathered around a stack of boxes as a woman with platinum blonde hair cut into a flare cut. She had blood-red eyes and a military-style uniform in the same color as her eyes. Sera's Victoria? Questioned Naruto, looking at the woman, who glared back at him. How do you know my name? Snarled the woman. As I have said, my mother has met your kind before, and she says your previous master spoke highly of you, said Naruto, once more making the woman narrow her eyes at him. Whatever you are planning, I swear I will stop you, declared Sera's, glaring at the five young devils. As I said, we have no affiliation with those three, we were here to eliminate them, same as you said, Naruto. I doubt that you give off the same aura as those three, said Sera's. And you've never been on a different side to someone of your own species? Questioned Naruto almost instantly. That's not the point, there have been hundreds of you creatures here in the last few weeks, said Sera's. You don't know what we're, do you? Questioned Naruto, looking at the woman. You're monsters who attack innocents, that's all I need to know, said Sera's. And you're not vampire? Questioned Naruto, narrowing his eyes at the woman. Well, stop trying to mess with my mind, growled Sera's, her blood-red eyes glowing as she glared at Naruto. I swear on my father's grave I am not trying to mess with your mind if you do not believe me, said Naruto, pulling the neckline of his shirt aside. Then I invite you to drink my blood and see for yourself, said Naruto. Naruto, what are you doing? Questioned Rias, looking confused at the blonde. She has no knowledge of devils, she may serve as a powerful ally should we explain to her who we are and who they were, and this is the quickest way, said Naruto. I will see for myself, but if this is a trick you six will not clear the building, said Sera's, shocking all of the devils to varying degrees. Ceres walked over to Naruto, and sunk her fangs into his flesh, making blood spill out before she licked up the scarlet liquid. Stepping back from Naruto, Ceres stood still for a moment before she screamed, clutching her head and dropping to her knees. "Ceres," said Naruto, moving quickly to the woman's side. She looked up at him, tears running down her face. She shifted into a kneeling position in front of Naruto. "Naruto-sama, please allow me to serve you as either a member of your peerage or simply a guardian," said the woman, looking down at the ground, making everyone look at her confused. "I have seen your memories, I have seen who you are. You are the type of person I would pledge my loyalty to," said the Draculina, kneeling to the young devil who was still shocked. "Naruto, as your mother, I highly suggest you take her up on her offer. She is a pure Draculina, one of the last of the Dracul bloodline, the most powerful vampire bloodline. She had the capacity to be one of the strongest devils in the underworld," said Kushina's voice from within Naruto's mind, snapping Naruto out of his pseudo-trance. "Stand, Ceres," said Naruto, making the blonde vampire look to the man who she was asking to be her master before following his order and standing at her full height, almost double that of Naruto. "I accept your offer, Ceres, and I will convert you to my peerage should I be able. If not, I will train until I can," said Naruto, getting a nod from the woman. "It appears that we are done a lot sooner than we expected," said Grayfear, appearing beside all of the devils and vampire. "If you are all done, then we can head back to the underworld," said Grayfear, looking to everyone, getting nods from the young devils but a shake of the head from Ceres. "I have a few personal belongings that are not with me. I'll go get them and be back in about 20 minutes, said Ceres before she vanished into the shadows. Hashtag 20 minutes later. Just as she stated 20 minutes later, Ceres once more appeared from the shadows. She however had a backpack thrown over her shoulder. She then nodded to her new master, who nodded back. "Alright, time to go," said Naruto, turning to Grayfear, who nodded before she created a magical circle which quickly engulfed the 7 of them. Hashtag Underworld. The group of 7 appeared outside of Gremory Castle, where once they appeared, Grayfear turned to the rest of them. "Lord Gremory will expect a report from you 6, particularly you, Ceres-san, as you were the one to take out the Rouge Devils that they were sent to eliminate," said Grayfear, getting a nod from all of the devils and the soon-to-be devil before she left and returned to her duties. The group of 6 quickly made their way through the castle, Ceres knowing the route from Naruto's memories, which she would have to discuss with the boy when she got the chance. Walking into the office, they were all somewhat surprised to still see Lords Gremory, Phoenix and Citri, who were just as shocked to see them and their tag-along. "That was quick. We were expecting at least a day, if not longer, not an hour," said Lord Gremory before taking a sip from the glass in his hand, which clearly had alcohol in it. "I see an extra. May we assume she is the reason for such a quick conclusion?" questioned Lord Citri, getting a nod from the devils. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Lords Gremory, Phoenix, Citri. I am Ceres Victoria and I am a vampire," said Ceres, dropping to a knee, bowing to the 3 clan heads. "And you are here because?" questioned Lord Phoenix, more curious than anything. "She has pledged her loyalty to me and has asked to become the first member of my peerage," said Naruto, getting raised eyebrows from the 3 clan heads. "And how did this occur?" questioned Lord Gremory. "She eliminated the 2 stray devils and the succubi just after we located them. Upon entering the building where they were located, Ceres sensed us, including Grayfear, almost instantly and was quite agitated, not knowing we were not with the stray devils, not actually knowing what we were at all. I offered to clarify by allowing her to observe my memories through my blood, which she did, and after viewing my memories she pledged loyalty to me," said Naruto. Lord Phoenix and Gremory's eyes narrowed upon the mention of his memories but nodded nonetheless. "Well, the first question that should be asked to you, Ceres, is what breed of vampire are you? From which clan do you hail?" questioned Lord Citri. "I am a reincarnated vampire of the Dracul clan, but I am a full-blooded Draculina," said Ceres, shocking all 3 of the clan heads. "They were said to be extinct," said Lord Gremory breathlessly. "Naruto, you are one lucky child," declared Lord Phoenix, smiling at the child. "Lucky? Are we sure Naruto-san isn't part leprechaun with that luck?" questioned Lord Citri half-jokingly. "I don't get it. What's so special about her being a Draculina?" asked Rias, looking confused. The Dracul vampire clan was said to be the oldest, purest and most powerful vampire clan and were also said to have been hunted to extinction, said Lord Gremory. My previous master had been captured and sealed away by the Helsing organization until over 100 years ago. He pledged his loyalty to the leader of the organization at the time and was loyal to the organization until the leader's death and the organization's eventual disbandment about 20 years ago, said Sears. Well, get a full report later. For now I think you Naruto should go and convert your vampire, said Lord Gremory, getting a nod from all of the young devils in the room along with Sears. Naruto and Sears left the room and headed towards his room where his evil pieces resided. Please take a seat, this could take a while, said Naruto, pointing to his bed as the two entered his room. Sears did as instructed while Naruto walked over to his evil pieces. I do have to ask, Naruto-sama, once we are done, will you permit me to see the scars on your back? I understand if you say no, and I will respect, said Sears, interrupted by Naruto. You have seen my memories. You have seen my everything. And I am no longer afraid of people seeing them. I will let you, Sears, said Naruto, turning back to the woman with all of his pawns in hand. Please lay back, I have to see if I can actually convert you, said Naruto, walking back over to her. She nodded and dropped back, lying flat on the bed as Naruto climbed onto the bed next to her, putting his pawns down beside her. Naruto took 4 of his pawns and placed them on Seris' chest above the woman's sizable cleavage, but below her neck. Nothing happened. Naruto moved another pawn piece to the same place as the others. What are you doing, Naruto-sama? Asked Sears, looking down at what her master was doing. I am trying to figure out how many pawns I would have to use to reincarnate you. They should glow brightly when the right amount is found, said Naruto, looking annoyed as he placed his last regular pawn with the rest of them. What about those 2? They're already glowing, questioned Sears. Those are mutation pieces, they always glow, indicating the mutation in him. The glow is even brighter than that, said Naruto as he brought one of the mutation pieces and placed it on her chest, and nothing. Sears watched on in trepidation as Naruto moved his last pawn to her chest, and again nothing. I'm sorry, Naruto-sama, it appears that you can't convert me, said Sears, looking down. That's not true, I have one more option, said Naruto, taking all 8 pawns off and walking back over to the other pieces set up on a chessboard before he picked up his glowing queen piece. Mutation pieces are more powerful than regular pieces, worth double the amount, and queens are worth 9 pawns regularly, so this piece is the equivalent of 18 of my pawns. If this doesn't work, then I was not meant to reincarnate you, said Naruto, stepping over to the vampire who looked on with wide eyes. Naruto gently placed the queen on Seris' chest and liked that the piece began to glow brightly. Perfect, muttered Naruto with a smirk. Naruto and Sears both watched in fascination as the blood-red queen piece sunk into the vampire's skin. And done, declared Naruto as Sears sat up as her wings flared out. They matched Naruto's half-bat-like wings, half-blue flaming wings, startling the Draculina, who quickly jumped up trying to get away from the fire. As she jumped up, she realized the fire was part of her wings. From your memories, converting me could have given me some variation on some of your abilities, correct? Asked Sears. Yes, and from what Ruby Oba-san said, generally with the Phoenix King, the peerage members usually gain some level of pyrokinesis and varying degrees of fire immunity, declared Naruto, nodding. And you can heal with your flames, yes? Asked Sears. I can, but I'm not exactly sure how to use them, said Naruto nervously. I want to test myself against these flames, declared Sears, looking at Naruto for permission. The young blonde's eyes widened and he hesitantly nodded to his queen. Sears held her hand out to the side gently. She waved her hand under the open flames of her wings far enough underneath that no normal person would get burnt. But both Naruto and Sears were nervous, as Sears was a vampire normally not so good with fire, and not that Naruto knew, but the proximity to fire was previously enough to burn Seris' skin. The platinum blonde vampire held up her hand and was somewhat surprised to see that her hand was clean of burns. Sears once more held her hand out to the side before she once more ran her hand about 6 inches under the flames, and once more her pale skin came through perfectly fine. Ceres swallowed the lump that formed in her throat as she ran her hand 2 inches under the flames, moving her hand through quickly. She once more looked at her hand only to see her hand was once more clean if a tiny bit red. "I think you might be done," said Naruto, concerned for his queen. "One more, master," spoke Ceres, running through the flames of her wings. Naruto reaching out to stop her, but she had already moved her hand through the flames, pulling her hand out. "Ah, oh wow wow," muttered Ceres, flicking her hand trying to cool it down. Naruto quickly ran to Ceres' side, grabbing hold of her hand. He saw it was bright red. Quickly his hands were engulfed in blue flames. Quickly taking her hand in his own, the vampire began to relax as her hand began to feel better. A moment later Naruto let her hand go, and to his and her surprise Ceres' hand was her normal color. "Well, it looks like I have about human fire resistance," said Ceres, happily getting a raised brow from Naruto. "Before you converted me I would start to burn about 3 feet away from flames, so normal fire resistance is a great improvement for me," said Ceres with a smile. Naruto grinned and nodded. "Naruto-kun, are you coming back outside?" asked Rias, walking into the blonde's room. "Yeah. Come on Ceres-chan, let's go," said Naruto, getting a nod from the queen. #outside #Naruto. Rias and Ceres walked back outside before walking over to their friends who were almost in the same position they were when they left. Naruto rolled his eyes before smirking as he walked over to the laying down Sona, Tsubaki, Akeno, Serug and Koneko. Serug sat up when he saw Naruto, Rias and Naruto's new queen approach. "Serug, Koneko, this is Ceres, my queen. Ceres, this is Serug, Rias' cousin, and Koneko, Rias' rook," said Naruto, introducing the three. "Nice to meet you," said Ceres, holding out her hand. Serug shook her hand with a grin. "Nice to meet you too, Ceres-san," declared Serug. Ceres just smiled kindly as Koneko nodded nervously in her general direction. "Wasn't your queen a mutation piece, Naruto?" asked Serug. "Yep, only piece I could use to convert her," said Naruto, getting shocked looks from everyone. "Wow, Ceres, you must be strong to require Naruto-kun's mutation queen piece," declared Akeno. "We never did get to see your strength in London, Ceres. Care to show us?" asked Rias. "How like against trees or?" questioned Ceres. "How about a friendly spar?" suggested Sona. "That sounds like a good idea, Ceres," questioned Rias, looking to the platinum blonde who looked to Naruto. "Up to you," said Naruto with a shrug. "Okay, so who?" questioned Ceres, looking back at the crimson-haired heiress. "Why not Tsubaki and Akeno?" suggested Rias, looking at her and Sona's queens. "Why both of us?" questioned Tsubaki with a raised eyebrow. "Well, Ceres is Naruto's queen and his queen was a mutation piece. It wouldn't really be fair for one person to face her," said Sona, looking at Tsubaki. The girl nodded and shrugged. "Well, I'm up for it if you are Tsubaki," said Akeno, looking at the heterochromic girl who nodded. "Well, let's go somewhere more open for sparring," suggested Rias, getting a nod from the rest of the devils. The 8 devils moved around the castle grounds to a more suitable battleground. When they got there, Ceres, Tsubaki and Akeno moved away from the rest of them and opposite each other. "Are you two ready?" asked Ceres, looking over at the two of them. "Yes," declared Akeno as her 2 devil wings appeared behind her. "As ready as I'll ever be," spoke Tsubaki, letting her wings flare out behind her. "Well, come at me," called Ceres, her voice becoming demonic as her upper face became shadowed, leaving only her red glowing demonic eyes. The 2 queens were taken aback by the sudden change in the woman, but both flew up into the air, Akeno gathering magic around her hands ready to bend the elements to her will, while Tsubaki formed a magical circle that split into 2, revealing a Naginata. With that, Tsubaki, Naginata in hand, ran forwards ready to slash at Ceres as soon as Tsubaki was close enough to strike Ceres. The blonde vampire jumped backwards before her left hand dissolved into a black and red claw-like structure which caught Tsubaki's weapon before throwing her behind the vampire. However, as Tsubaki was clear of her range, Akeno threw a bolt of lightning at the vampire, who blurred out of the way, shocking everyone at her speed. She rematerialized about 30 feet away from both of her opponents, crouched down, her normal hand touching the ground, her blood claw arm above her. She looked at Akeno and Tsubaki before she once more vanished, and again she appeared in front of Tsubaki, her clawed hand already halfway through a swing. Tsubaki brought up her naginata and blocked the attack, and before she could even try to counter-attack, Ceres was gone and appearing once more in a different part of the open field. Everyone was shocked to see an arm holding a gun formed out of her blood-claw arm, and before anyone could question it, the gun was pointed at Tsubaki, whose eyes widened as a hail of gunfire was unleashed. Tsubaki quickly waved her hands and a mirror formed that the bullets flew into. Thankfully they didn't pierce the mirror, and 2 seconds later, the mirror spat out a storm of twice as many bullets back at Ceres, who leapt over the bullet storm and over the mirror, slamming a fist into Tsubaki's face, knocking her backwards, hitting the ground and knocking her unconscious. Ceres then turned back to Akeno with a cruel smirk on her face. "No thank you. I give," said Akeno, floating to the ground before walking over to Rias, who nodded to her queen, before everyone moved over to the unconscious Tsubaki. Give us a few moments," said Sona, bending down as she began to heal her downed queen, healing the bursts that began to form. Once the bruise was gone, Sona woke up Tsubaki, who sat up. "Did we lose?" asked Tsubaki, getting a nod from everyone around. "Well, now that that's out of the way, there is still plenty of day to enjoy," said Rias with a grin before she began to walk away. Everyone agreed and began to move away. "Tsubaki-chan, can I have a word?" asked Naruto, drawing everyone's attention. Tsubaki herself was confused, but agreed anyway before walking over to the blonde, while everyone else shrugged before walking away. "Ceres, would you mind going with them? I wish to talk with Tsubaki-chan alone," said Naruto, getting a nod from his queen, who followed the group of devils. "What's up, Naruto?" asked Tsubaki, looking at Naruto confused. "I know this may not be my place, but you still hold some resentment towards your sacred gear, don't you?" suggested Naruto, making Tsubaki's eyes widen before they narrowed. "You're right, it's not your place," said Tsubaki in an angry tone. Naruto nodded. "But you're the only one who's noticed, and it is something I want to get off my chest if you'll listen," said Tsubaki, looking down sadly. "I wouldn't have said anything if I wasn't willing. You're my friend, Tsubaki-chan," said Naruto with a smile, sitting down. Tsubaki sat down next to him. "I have told you I was born to 2 members of the Shinra clan, right?" questioned Tsubaki, getting a nod from Naruto. "And you know they are a clan of loyal god worshippers that purify evil spirits, right?" questioned Tsubaki, once more getting a nod from Naruto, who once more nodded to the girl, letting her speak. "I was born with an abnormality in the clan's abilities to purify spirits. I could summon those evil spirits from my mirrors. While not labeled a heretic by my clan, I knew that's what they all thought of me," said Tsubaki, tears forming her eyes. Naruto shook his head before pulling the girl into a hug. They forced me into isolation, living alone. Not even with my parents, who didn't even seem to care what my clan was doing to me. Not once did they ever come to see me after that. Not once did they call me their daughter. They didn't even look at me as if I was human anymore," said Tsubaki as tears began to flow down her face like waterfalls. "If only I hadn't been born with this cursed ability. If I hadn't, then my parents would still care for me. As much as I care about Sona, Rias, Akeno, and the rest of you, I miss my family. Just want a parent's love. Is there so much to ask?" questioned Tsubaki angrily. No, Tsubaki-chan, it's not too much to ask. Everyone should know parental love," said Naruto, holding Tsubaki tighter. "I know you never met your parents, Naruto-kun. I know I may seem insecure," spoke Tsubaki, only for Naruto to put a finger against her lips, silencing her. "No, you're not being insensitive. I was by asking. It's okay," said Naruto with a smile before he took his finger away. "And if I may offer my own input as someone who has been in a similar situation, family, the bond that links your true family is not one of blood, but of respect and joy in each other's life. And if your parents didn't care after you discovered your abilities, then they were not your family. The ones that respect and care for you no matter what are your family, those like Sona, Rias, Akeno, Lord and Lady Citri, Leviathan Sama, me, Lord Gremory, Venelana Sama. Tsubaki, you have so many people that care for you. Don't be blinded by the past and be unable to see the future," said Naruto with a teary smile looking down at Tsubaki, who looked at him, tears staining her eyes with a shocked look on her face, before she smiled and looked down. "You know just the thing to say, don't you, Naruto-kun?" questioned Tsubaki, wiping away her tears before looking up at the blonde with a smile. "I try," declared Naruto with a smile. The two devils sat there still embracing each other for a few moments of silence. "Feeling better, Tsubaki-chan?" asked Naruto, looking down at the girl, who looked up at him and nodded. "Yeah, thanks to you, Naruto-kun," said Tsubaki with a soft smile. "No problem," said Naruto with a grin. "We should probably move, the others will probably be wondering what's going on," said Naruto, standing up. Several hours later, the underworld's night had fallen and Naruto found himself in his room, sitting on his bed. In front of him was a chessboard and seated opposite him sat Sona, who was smirking at him. Rias and Ceres both sat on either side of the chessboard, while Akeno and Tsubaki sat next to Rias and Ceres. "You ready to lose, Naruto-kun?" asked Sona, smirking at Naruto. The black-haired king had been faced Rias, Tsubaki, Akeno and Ceres, defeating them all, and was now facing Naruto, who, while not sure, he was confident that he would do reasonably against his friend. "You haven't won yet, Sona," declared Naruto with a smirk as he moved his first piece. Sona narrowed her eyes at the moved piece before she moved her own. Naruto then moved his piece almost instantly, confusing Sona, who looked at the board and began to work out her next move. It took her a moment before she figured it out and moved her piece, and once more Naruto instantly moved a piece. "Are you getting help from your mother?" asked Sona, glaring at Naruto with her arms crossed. "I'm not, I swear," said, holding his hands up in a defensive position. Sona narrowed her eyes before looking back at the board and mapping out her possible moves. Naruto just sat back as Sona planned her move. Moving her piece, Sona sat back as Naruto once more instantly moved a piece. "Are you just randomly moving pieces?" asked Sona, looking at Naruto. "No," said Naruto, simply annoying the black-haired woman. This is how the game continued, Sona taking her time to plan out a move, then Naruto moving a seemingly random piece instantly. The game went on for ages, drawing to what everyone hoped was a close, with Naruto having his king, one bishop, 3 pawns and a rook. Sona on the other hand had her king, queen, a knight and a pair of pawns. "Check," said Sona smugly as she moved her queen to just the right position to force Naruto to move his king. Naruto again instantly moved his king, annoying Sona at how quickly he was moving his pieces. She once more observed all possible moves and saw Naruto trying to set a trap for her king, so she moved it only for Naruto to instantly move a piece. "Check and mate," said Naruto smugly as he put his piece back on the board. "You? What? How? Huh?" questioned Sona, disbelieving as she looked at the board. He did it," said Rias, shocked. "He actually beat Sona?" questioned Tsubaki, looking at the board before she nodded to herself, seeing that Sona's king was indeed in check and had nowhere to go without still being in check. "I can't believe it, you actually beat me. No one besides Tu-san and Ka-chan have beat me before," said Sona, looking at Naruto, who shrugged. "My strategies are unpredictable and hard to get a grasp on," declared Naruto with a smirk. "Well, I know when I am beaten," said Sona, holding out her hand, which Naruto took with his own, and the two shook hands. "All right, you lot, bedtime," said Venelana, walking into the room. "Ah," came the synchronized whine of the 5 young devils, getting a smile from Venelana and a giggle from Ceres. "Come on, you lot," said Venelana. The young female devils groaned before getting up and walking out of the room. Venelana turned to Naruto, who was off his bed collecting his sleepwear. Nodding to herself, the brunette walked out of the room. Naruto, forgetting Ceres was still in the room, took off his shirt with his back to the vampire, making her gasp. Naruto turned to the sound before realizing it was Ceres. "Ceres-chan, you said you wanted to see them, here you go," said Naruto, turning so his back was facing the woman. She moved over to Naruto, dropping to her knees behind him as he stood there, right hand nervously rubbing his left arm. Naruto's vampire queen looked at her master's back, seeing the dozen or so scars and the biggest, most horrible scarring on his back, demon carved into his back. Ceres' hand reached out and touched the scar tissue on Naruto's back, her fingers running along his carved-up back that she unfortunately knew how he got. She would have traveled back to the village of Konohagakure and wiped it off the map if not for the fact that she knew Naruto wouldn't like that. Sighing sadly, Ceres moved back from Naruto. "I thank you for permitting me to see them, Master," said Ceres, moving towards the doors. "You aren't planning on taking revenge on Konoha, are you, Ceres?" questioned Naruto, narrowing his eyes at his servant. "I would, but I am well aware that you would look down upon that, so against my best instincts I will not," declared the woman, stepping out of the room as Naruto changed into his sleepwear. Next morning, Naruto woke up to the feeling of weight on his arms and chest. Looking to his left, Naruto saw on his bedside table 2 pairs of glasses and 2 heads of black hair. To his right, Naruto saw a head of red hair and yet another head of black hair. "Comfy, Master?" questioned a voice from the end of his bed. Naruto looked up to see Ceres standing there with a smirk on her face. Naruto let his head fall back on his pillow with a sigh. An 8-year-old Naruto woke up in his bed. Trying to move his arms, he felt he couldn't. He rolled his eyes and looked to his sides, and surprise, surprise, he saw Akeno, Tsubaki, Rias and Sona. Having been in the underworld for a year now, he had just grown used to their antics. Every time Sona and Tsubaki stayed the night, the two of them would sneak into Naruto's room. Not to mention that almost every night Rias and Akeno also snuck into his room and they would join him in his bed. Seeing nothing wrong with it, Naruto simply let them do what they wanted. "Master, once your friends are awake, Lord Gremory and Lord Phoenix wish to speak with you," spoke Ceres. Naruto looked at his platinum blonde queen and nodded as best he could. In the months since her being reborn as Naruto's queen, Ceres had begun to learn and work towards mastering elemental magic to go with her vampire magic. Along with learning new magic, she had also some months ago begun teaching her blood vampiric magic to another reincarnated vampire, or at least half vampire. He was a Damphir. Half vampire, half human, one which Rias had converted into one of her bishops. The boy named Gasper was a rather shy young vampire who possessed a powerful sacred gear called Forbidden Balor View, giving him the ability to stop time, but his very shy personality prevented him from using it to the best of his abilities, as he required eye contact to use it. But he was absolutely terrified of everything. Rias had been working on the boy's shyness but was making little progress. Naruto just lay back feeling happy in the presence of his friends. It was at that point Naruto felt the 2 girls closest to him, Sona and Rias, who were sleeping half on his chest, begin to stir. Rias sat up, stretched her arms out, while Sona stretched her arms out above her before reaching over and taking her glasses from the bedside table upon which they sat. Once her glasses were on, she turned to Naruto. "Morning, Naruto-kun," said Rias as she dropped back down and snuggled closer to Naruto. "Morning, Rias-chan," spoke Naruto with a smile. "Good morning, Naruto-kun," declared Sona. "And to you as well, Sona-chan," said Naruto, turning to face the girl with a smile. "Morning, Rias," said Sona, sitting up a bit to look at the girl. "Good morning, Sona," lazily spoke Rias, looking back at Sona. The 3 awake occupants of the bed felt the weight move once more as the last 2 girls woke. "Morning, everyone," muttered Akeno, rubbing her eyes. "Morning, Akeno-chan, san," spoke Rias, Naruto and Sona in unison. Meanwhile, Tsubaki had retrieved her glasses and was sitting up. "Morning," declared Tsubaki, getting another round of mornings as a reply. "I hate to rush you four, but Naruto is expected by Lord Gremory and Phoenix now," said Ceres, making the girls look to her before looking back at Naruto and begrudgingly get out of his bed and leave his room. Naruto himself too got up and quickly moved through his morning rituals, ending with him getting dressed. After changing, Naruto walked out of the room where Ceres was waiting for him. Not even waiting for the woman, he moved off towards Lord Gremory's office. Ceres quickly caught up with Naruto, and as soon as she stepped onto his shadow, she dropped into the shaded area behind her master. Naruto felt his queen enter his shadow but simply continued walking. Several minutes later, Naruto stepped into the office of the man who was as close to a father as had ever had to see the man himself and his uncle sitting there waiting. "Ceres-chan says you wanted to see me?" questioned Naruto as the platinum blonde woman rose out of her master's shadow and stood behind him. "Yes, Naruto-kun, we have," said Lord Gremory with a sigh. Lord Phoenix and I have been discussing your progress, and as much as we don't want to let you, we did promise that when we felt like you could defend yourself you would be allowed to return to Konoha. The time has come. You are quite capable and Ceres is quite powerful and very protective of you, so we have decided should you choose so you will be allowed to return to the elemental nations, said Lord Gremory, not happy about it, but they promised Naruto and they wouldn't go back on their words. I don't know, I thank you for telling me, but I am happy here. But I may want to, I don't know, said Naruto confused. Part of him wanted to go back to Konoha and see Ayami, Chuchi, Hiruzen, Kunai, Yugao, Hayate and some of the Anbu agents again, but he was really happy in the underworld. You don't have to make a decision right away, Naruto-kun, feel free to take as long as you need. Just remember that should you choose to go back you are welcome to come back here at any time, said Lord Gremory. And Phoenix Castle's doors will always open for you as well, said Lord Phoenix. Thank you, said Naruto before turning around and walking out of the room, Ceres following quickly along after him. Having seen his torn expression, she wanted to be there to help if she could. Naru-chan, are you okay? Questioned the voice of Kushina within Naruto's mind. I don't know, I want to go back, but then again I don't. The people of that village made my life hell, but even after everything I still want to be a ninja, thought Naruto walking out of the doors of Gremory Castle. Then go back to the elemental nations, but don't go back to Konoha, go to Kumo or Kiri or even a minor village, suggested Kushina. But there are people I still care about in Konoha and the village might have changed, responded Naruto. Unless they have forgotten about you, then they won't have changed, nor will they ever. You are lying to yourself, Naru-chan, and you know it, spoke Kushina. I know that's part of the reason I don't want to go back. I know in the moment I will get caught up in everything and fall into that manipulation again, thought Naruto before he walked into the castle gardens. Then don't go back to Konoha, said Kushina simply. I just can't straight up leave the village. I still want to just check if they have changed, said Naruto. Hey Naruto-kun, what did Toussaint want? Questioned Rias as she approached her friend Sona, Akeno, Tsubaki, Koneko and Gasper following her. Your father and Oji-san have said I can go back to the elemental nations, declared Naruto, drawing shocked gasps from his friends. Are you going to go? Asked Sona, looking at him shocked. I don't know, I am thinking about it, admitted Naruto, looking down, still not sure what to do. Even if you did go back you would come back, right? Questioned Tsubaki, sounding nervous. Of course I couldn't leave you guys forever, you're my best friends, said Naruto with a grin. Then go, we all know you have some business with that village and Ceres will be there to stop them warping your mind, said Akeno, getting a nod from Naruto. Just promise to come back to us the same as you are now, said Akeno as Naruto began walking away. Of course, said Naruto with a smile, turning back to his friends who were all smiling at him. Come on Ceres-chan, we have stuff to pack, we're heading to Konohagakure, declared Naruto, getting a nod from his queen. Several hours later, Naruto stood with Ceres next to him, both of them with backpacks next to them. In front of them were Lord Phoenix, Lord Gremory, Venelana, Ruby, Rias, Akeno, Sona, Tsubaki, Serug, Koneko and Gasper. Come back to us safe Naruto-kun, said Rias, walking up and hugging the blonde. I will, said Naruto, smiling as he hugged his friend. Once the two parted, Sona stepped up to Naruto. Don't let them warp your mind, Naruto-kun, ordered Sona, hugging the blonde. I won't, chuckled Naruto, hugging her. Akeno was the next one to step up to Naruto. Please don't stay away for too long, pleaded Akeno, wrapping her arms around him. I'll try, declared Naruto with grin, wrapping around his friend. After the two separated, Tsubaki stepped up. Rias, Sona and Akeno have said everything I wanted to, so goodbye Naruto-kun, said Tsubaki, hugging Naruto. See you next time Tsubaki-chan, said Naruto, hugging the girl. After the two parted, Serug stepped up and he shook Naruto's hand. Stay safe bud, said the boy, getting a nod from Naruto. Koneko walked up to Naruto and hugged him. Goodbye Naruto, said Koneko. See ya Neko-chan, said Naruto, hugging her before ruffling her hair. Gasper walked up to Naruto, who crouched down to the younger boy's height. Goodbye Naruto-sama, said the young half-blooded vampire hugging Naruto. Until next time Gasper, spoke the Phoenix hugging his friend. Venelana stepped closer to the blonde and hugged him. Stay safe Naruto and keep up your studies, spoke the woman getting a nod from Naruto as he hugged the woman. After Venelana stepped back, Ruby stepped up and hugged her nephew. Goodbye Naruto-kun, said the woman hugging him. Naruto hugged her back. Bye Oba-san, whispered Naruto. Once the two blondes separated, Ruby turned to Ceres. Please keep him safe, said Ruby to the platinum blonde-haired woman. You didn't need to ask, declared Ceres, getting a nod from her master's aunt. Alright you two, this is goodbye for now, but remember the castle doors are always open, declared Lord Gremory. Naruto and Ceres nodded before a teleportation circle appeared beneath their feet before it rose up engulfing them, making them disappear. #Konoha Naruto and Ceres appeared just outside of Training Ground 44, known to the Konoha populace as the Forest of Death. Ceres quickly vanished into her master's shadow as he began to walk back to the village he had a Hokage to lie to. Despite not being in the village for a year, nothing much had changed, so Naruto could simply follow his memories of the back streets to get to the Hokage Tower without anyone seeing him. Walking into the tower, Naruto slipped past the secretary who disliked him and began walking up the stairs. He had spent some of the time while packing his stuff working out his excuse to Hiruzen as to where he was for the last year. He was going to have to use a little devil magic, but he couldn't reveal the mystic world to Hiruzen, it was too risky. Walking into the office, Naruto saw the old man behind the desk. He wasn't sure how to feel about the man. He had hid his heritage and burden from him, but the man also treated Naruto like family. Hey Gigi, spoke Naruto. Na Naruto-kun? Questioned Hiruzen, looking up at the blonde even if he didn't believe it. Yeah old man, it's me, said Naruto with a smile. Hiruzen quickly got up and walked over to the boy. However, Naruto saw all he needed to about the man in his eyes when he saw Naruto. They were not eyes of my lost family member is finally home. Those were eyes of good, my weapon has returned. So you were manipulating me to you old bastard. Well, I won't let you do that anymore, declared Naruto. Where have you been Naruto my boy? No one has seen you for a year, said Hiruzen. I was staying in that big fenced-off forest, said Naruto. The Forest of Death? Questioned Hiruzen, with a raised eyebrow. Yeah, that one, declared Naruto, a grin on his face as he subtly cast a demonic illusion over Hiruzen, making him believe what the blonde said. He knew this would work as the spell wasn't chakra-based, so Hiruzen wouldn't be able to detect it. His parents had both done this in the past. Kushina had told him how to do it. Oh, I know, I should have sent someone to search there, said Hiruzen. Well, I'm back now Gigi, said Naruto with a grin. Okay my boy, well why don't you run along, I have things to do, said Hiruzen, getting a nod from Naruto, who turned and left. Naruto walked out of the tower and down to the streets. He had to tell Hiruzen himself he didn't need to be summoned to the council in front of Hiruzen and have to explain it and put him all under the illusion. Naruto did have one more place to go before he went home. Naruto-sama, you are being followed, said Ceres' voice in mind. I know Ceres H has been following me since the tower. I plan to call him out when I get to this park, replied Naruto as he slipped from alleyway to alleyway trying to get to his final destination, the park he had met Lord Phoenix and Lord Gremory about a year ago. Walking into the center of the park, Naruto bowed his head in respect. Mourning the lives you took? Questioned a voice from behind Naruto. Making his eyes widen, he had seen him, Lord Gremory and Lord Phoenix. Naruto spun to face the voice, blue fire flaring to life in over the palms of both hands, ready to lob them at the voice. Hey whoa, calm down, I'm not here looking for trouble, said the man. He had short spiky black hair and charcoal black eyes. Then why are you here? Questioned Naruto. Speak now or I will rip of your head, spoke a demonic voice from behind the man, a voice belonging to Ceres. I'm here to offer you training. You have unique abilities and I would hate to see them squandered, said the man. Why should I train under you? Questioned Naruto. The man didn't look like much, said man, slowly reached into a pocket and pulled out a little black book before tossing it at Naruto's feet. Naruto raised an eyebrow at the man. Page 26, declared the man. Naruto bent down and picked up the book and turned to the page. Shisui of the body flicker. Okay, you have my attention. I will accept your offer, Shisui-sensei. Ceres, let him go, declared Naruto, making his queen let the man go before walking back to Naruto's side. Okay kid, meet me at training ground 10 tomorrow at 9 and we'll begin, declared Shisui, getting a nod from Naruto before he vanished in a swirl of leaves. We're done here to Ceres, come on, said Naruto, turning around and walking out of the training ground, Ceres quickly dropping into his shadow. 20 minutes later, Naruto walked towards his apartment block. He knew he probably wasn't going to have a good time, but he knew the landlord would be nasty to him, but Naruto would simply liberate the deed to the building from the man. He wasn't sure if the landlord would disappear after, but he was contemplating it. Oi brat, yelled a voice from behind Naruto. Speak of the devil, muttered Naruto, looking back at the landlord walking up to him angrily. You little brat owe me 12 months' rent plus a substantial late fee, said the man. Ceres rose out of Naruto's shadow, shocking the man, but before anything could be said, Ceres was in front of him, pointing at his forehead before both Ceres and the landlord's eyes glowed red as she begun to hypnotize him. You will no longer bother Naruto for rent, said Ceres. I will no longer bother Naruto for rent, said the landlord. In fact, you wish to sign over ownership of the building to Naruto, said Ceres. In fact, I wish to sign over ownership of the building to Naruto, said the landlord before he put down his briefcase and opened it up, pulled out a form and began scribbling on it, before he walked over to Naruto, handing him the pen and form. All that is needed is your signature here and the deal will be complete, Naruto, said the landlord in a trance-like state. Naruto took the form and signed where he said, Ceres, disappear him, declared Naruto, walking into the large apartment complex. Before walking up to his apartment, walking into his old home, Naruto felt his stomach grumble. The blonde looked at his fridge. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm that brave, muttered Naruto, seeing an old instant ramen container out of the corner of his eye. Looking over at the cup, he swore it moved. Stepping out of the room, he was half tempted to burn the room to the ground. Naruto quickly moved back to the ground floor where he found Ceres walking into ground floor. Let's go, Ceres, I'm hungry and I wouldn't trust the food in my apartment as far as you could throw it, said Naruto. Okay, so where are we going? Asked Ceres. A forest. I know in the village I don't have any elemental nation's money, so I can't buy anything, so we have to go hunting, said Naruto, getting a nod from his queen, and once more the two took off towards the back alleys. After about 3 minutes, Naruto had arrived in the market district alleyways. He needed to slip through to get to his hunting grounds, however he found something that was unsettling. He saw a young blonde girl sitting at the open end of the alleyway. She looked very undernourished. Her eyes were lolling closed. Naruto walked up to her. It was unsettling for him, as even as much he didn't like the village, it was very rare to see a young child on the streets, and the girl looked no older than 6. Hey girl, what's your name? Questioned Naruto, kneeling down to her level. The girl's head rolled to face him in an almost undead fashion. Luffy Pendragon, please help me, I'm just looking for even a scrap of food, said the girl with no energy in her voice. Come with me, we'll get you nice and fed, muttered Naruto, picking up the girl, who was exceedingly light, and the girl herself fell unconscious as soon as she was moved. Luffy was a young girl, what many would call cute. She had short blonde hair and blue eyes which were currently closed as she lay unconscious in a bed. Naruto had, after finding her, rushed to find some food for her, only for Kushina to tell him that their house would have fresh food, courtesy of various seals. So after getting directions to the place, Naruto had laid the unconscious form of Luffy on what was, when Minato and Kushina were alive, a guest bed. Naruto, while he let Luffy rest, was in the kitchen making food for himself and Luffy, who was beginning to stir from her sleep. Where am I? Questioned the blonde girl as she shot up, looking around the room trying to find someone there. Calm down, you are safe, said a voice from the end of the bed. Looking up, Luffy saw a woman that appeared to be about 20 years old. The woman had platinum blonde hair and blood-red eyes. Who are you? Asked the young girl. I am Ceres Victoria, my master Naruto Uzumaki, and I found you in the streets begging for food. We brought you here while you recover, said the woman with a soft smile. Luffy. I thank you, said Luffy bowing to Ceres. No problem Luffy-san, said Naruto as he walked into the room holding a tray with a bowl of soup, several slices of bread, some bacon and a small stack of pancakes. Placing the tray down on her legs, Luffy looked at the tray with wide eyes and mouth watering. Eat up, declared Naruto with a small smile, before the girl dug into the food rather quickly. Naruto and Ceres just sat and waited while the girl just sort of devoured her food. It took a little under 5 minutes for the food to be eaten by the starving girl. I thank you for the food Naruto-sama, Ceres-sama, said Luffy bowing to the two of them. It's fine, said Naruto waving her off, picking up the tray which he quickly handed to Ceres, who took the tray and left the room. So what's someone like you doing in a place like this, Luffy-san? Questioned Naruto. Someone like me? What do you mean by that? Questioned Luffy. Well, aside from the young age, I know you are not a regular person and defiantly not one from this dimensional plane, said Naruto, getting a shocked look from the girl before she settled into an accepting nod. I am a member of the House of Pendragon. I have been taught magic by the Golden Dawn, but my brother, who is without a doubt the family member I care most for, I had heard left the House of Pendragon, so I left the Golden Dawn to look for him. Unfortunately, I haven't had to take care of myself to such a degree before, which is why I ended up begging for food. I had heard a rumor my brother had come here, and that's why I'm here looking for information about him, but the teleportation spell took a lot out of me, so needed food, and that was about a week ago. I think I haven't been able to keep track of time so well, trying to make sure I didn't end up raped by some of the lovely people in this village, explained Luffy sarcastically, calling the people of Konoha lovely. What about you, Naruto-sama? You speak with knowledge of other dimensions, how do you know about them? Questioned the blonde girl. I'm a devil, I was born here, but learnt about the mystical world last year when I was taken to the underworld and learned most of what I needed to, said Naruto, getting a nod from Luffy followed by a confused look. You were born here? Why would even a devil want to live here of all dimensional planes? Questioned Luffy. Well, it's a long story, muttered Naruto, scratching his neck. We have as long as you wish to speak, Naruto-sama, spoke the magician. Well, my parents were entered into an arranged marriage when they were young, and neither of them partially liked the idea of the marriage, so they both came here independently, trying to escape the engagement. Both of them ended up here in this village, both falling in love with who they thought were mortals of this dimension, only for it to be their betrothed. When they discovered this, they accepted the engagement, but having both made so many friends in this dimension, they didn't want to leave, so they decided to live here permanently, even going so far as to sacrifice their lives for the safety of this village 8 years ago, said Naruto. Wait, how old are you? Questioned Luffy, looking at the blonde confused. I'm 8. Declared Naruto, getting a confused look from Luffy. You're 8 and your parents died 8 years ago, spoke Luffy. When I was taken to the underworld, I met with my extended family, who explained part of the story to me, and then I met my mother, who with my father sealed a yokai into me on the night I was born. However, the sealing technique cost my father his life while my mother was dying from having the yokai extracted from her, but they sealed fragments of their souls into me. My mother had the yokai sealed into her and had begun to merge with it, so when her soul was sealed into me, it latched onto the yokai, causing the two to fight for supremacy of the yokai's body, my mother winning, said Naruto, getting a nod from Luffy. Anyway, you said you came here looking for your brother. Have you made any headway? Questioned Naruto, looking at the girl curiously. No, unfortunately I don't know if he has even been here, muttered Luffy, looking down. Well, you're welcome to stay here as long as you are in Konoha, said Naruto with a smile. Thank you, Naruto-sama, replied Luffy. Just Naruto is fine, said Naruto with a smile, getting a nod from the blonde girl in front of him. If there's anything else you need, let me know, said Naruto with a smile. Well, if you're willing to help me, I don't know this place that well, so would you be able to help me? Muttered Luffy, looking down, embarrassed about asking Naruto to help her. Sure, I have a couple of ideas where we can begin, said Naruto with a grin. Luffy moved to get out of bed, only for her to fall as she tried to stand up properly. Naruto caught her before she could hit the ground. Hey, slow down, is it that important that we start now? You can rest, spoke Naruto as he looked her in the eyes. Sorry, I don't want to wait on this. My brother could leave if H is here while I'm resting, spoke the girl. Naruto nodded and turned around and picked up the girl piggyback style. What are you doing, Naruto? Questioned Luffy, her head resting on the boy's shoulder. You can't walk, I'll carry you, declared Naruto, walking out of the room as only to see Sirius there. Come on Sirius, we're leaving for a while, said Naruto. Where are we going, Naruto-sama? Asked the woman. We have a couple of places, we're looking for information on Luffy's brother, spoke Naruto, walking to the door. Sirius nodded, stepping up behind Naruto before dropping into his shadow, making Luffy look at the blonde's shadow in shock. Shush is a vampire, declared Naruto as he walked out of the front door of his parents' house. Walking down the path, Naruto walked out of the gate, closing it behind him. Then to Luffy's surprise, the compound and house vanished from sight and Naruto began walking away from the now invisible home. How did you do that? Asked Luffy. The compound is protected by various methods so that only people who know where it is can get to it, declared Naruto as he moved through the trees back towards the village. It took several minutes, but Naruto and Luffy walked back towards the village center. Luffy looked on confused as Naruto walked stealthily around the village back alleys. Why are you hiding, Naruto? Asked Luffy in a hushed tone. The village hates my guts. The yokai that I told you was sealed in me caused a lot of damage to the village. All of the adults of the village know that the yokai is sealed in me and would use any excuse to attack me, either thinking that by hurting me they hurt the QB or that I am the QB itself, whispered Naruto as he moved towards the front gates. Luckily Naruto and Luffy managed to get to the front gates without trouble. Walking up to the gate, Naruto saw just the two knuckleheads he wanted to see sitting in the both arms crossed and sleeping. Oi Kotetsu, Azumo, wake up, said Naruto, walking up to the booth. We're awake, spoke a startled Kotetsu as he and Azumo both sat up in an instant. Both men looked lazily around until their eyes settled on Naruto. And Naruto, is that you? Questioned Azumo in shock at seeing the boy. Sup guys, long time, said Naruto with a grin. Naruto buddy, where have you been? Questioned Kotetsu, looking unbelievingly at the boy. I have been in the forest of death for the last year, said Naruto with a sad smile. What the hell, next time tell us before you take off like that, we missed you, ya little knucklehead, muttered Azumo, reaching over and ruffling Naruto's hair. It was at that moment both men noticed the person on Naruto's back. Who's your friend, Naruto? Questioned Kotetsu, looking at the girl on the blonde's back. Hello, I am Luffy Pendragon, said the girl with a smile. Nice to meet you, Luffy-san, spoke Kotetsu with a smile. What can we do for the two of you? Questioned Azumo, looking at Naruto and his passenger. Well, Luffy here has been looking for her brother who ran away from home, and she had heard rumors that he might be here in Konoha, so we were wondering if we could look through the logs, said Naruto. Sorry Naruto, you know we can't let you look through them, but given the situation we could look through them. We just need a name, spoke Kotetsu. Arthur Pendragon, declared Luffy, getting a nod from Kotetsu as he began to look through the books for the name. Flipping through the pages, Kotetsu looked up and down the pages of the book, shaking his head, flicking the pages as he got closer and closer to the back of the books. Several minutes after he began, Kotetsu looked up with a sad look on his face. Sorry, no Arthur Pendragon in here, not even an Arthur. Sorry Luffy-chan, said Kotetsu with an apologetic look. I thank you for looking for me, declared Luffy with a sad smile. Sorry we couldn't be more helpful, but we'll keep an eye out for him and we'll let you know if he checks into the village, said Azumo with a smile, getting a grateful smile from the girl. Thanks guys, muttered Naruto before turning around and began walking away from the gates. Naruto, walking away from the gates, quickly made his way to a back alley where he moved out of the open end of the alleyway before he quickly formed a magical circle below his feet which rose up, engulfing Naruto and Luffy. #unknown alleyway #Naruto and Luffy appeared in another alleyway which looked a lot less clean than the previous one, but this alleyway Naruto simply walked out onto the street and calmly walked down the road, confusing Luffy, who quickly looked around to see people giving her and Naruto strange looks. Naruto, people are staring, muttered Luffy, concerned. They're just trying to work out who is their new Emoto, little sister, and who hurt her. said Naruto, confusing Lefei, who looked around confused before what he meant clicked in her mind. Wait, me? Questioned Lefei, confused. Yep, said Naruto with a smile. Why would anyone care who hurt me, and why would I be their Emoto? Questioned Lefei.
This Lefei is Konoha's red light district, the only place in the village I am considered by a majority of the population to be human, and almost everyone here, be it a street thug or a brothel whore, sees me an Ototo, and if you're with me then you're family to the people here. Everyone in this district looks out for everyone else. This district is not a random assortment of people, this district is one giant family, declared Naruto.
Oh okay, muttered Lefei, looking down, feeling bad for Naruto that the rest of the village apparently viewed him as less than human. However, her attention was drawn towards a large building in front of them. It was a bar. Walking straight in, Lefei was somewhat scared when everyone turned to her and Naruto. Nice of you to show yourself, Naruto, declared a sarcastic feminine voice from behind the bar. Sorry, Nei-san, things happened and I spent the last year outside of Konoha, declared Naruto as he walked up to the bar. I will let you off this time, mister, but next time I want advance notice. Half the thugs were ready to start knocking down doors looking for you, said the woman. I'm sorry everyone, said Naruto, looking down. Hey, it's okay Naruto, but next time advance notice, declared another voice within the room. Naruto nodded. Anyway Naruto, who's the girl? Asked the woman from behind the bar. Naruto moved over to the bar before one of the women at the bar took Lefei from Naruto's back and sat her on her lap, while the woman next to her picked up Naruto, putting him in her lap. This is Lefei, declared Naruto, motioning to the girl, who waved nervously to the woman behind the bar. Shusha's not from here and her brother left their home and Shusha's looking for him. She heard rumors he might be here in Konoha. We've already checked with Kotetsu and Azumo, but they haven't seen him, spoke Naruto. And his name is? Questioned the lady behind the bar. Arthur Pendragon, nervously spoke Lefei. Can't say the name rings a bell, but what's he look like? Maybe I've seen him, suggested the woman. Well, H's blonde with a short ponytail and spiky hair, purple eyes, and glasses, spoke Lefei, trying to recall details of her brother's appearance. Being at least 3 months since she had seen him, he could have changed in the time she hadn't seen him. Unfortunately, sweetie, I can't say I have seen him, sorry, spoke the woman behind the bar with an apologetic look. Thanks anyway, muttered Lefei, looking down sadly. Half an hour later, Naruto walked out of the bar with Lefei on his back as he walked. Despite it being a dead end, Naruto tried to help Lefei stay positive. Don't worry Lefei-chan, I'm sure we'll find him, said Naruto with a smile at the girl. Thank you Naruto, but for now I just want to rest for a while, declared Lefei. Naruto nodded and began walking towards his parents' home. Several hours later, Naruto sat in his parents' lounge room reading one of several large books Venilana had given him to read. The sun had long since set and Lefei had been sleeping since the trio had returned. Ceres had left the house when the sun had gone down. Naruto knew what she was going to do, and really he didn't try to stop her from going out and finding some of the harsher of his attackers to either scare them or disappear them. Naruto, while reading, was thinking of what to do with the apartment block his queen had helped him acquire earlier. He needed to clean his normal apartment up so that if Hiruzen decided to visit it would look like Naruto was still living there. The other thing on Naruto's mind was the friends he still had within the village. His mind flickered to the ruby-eyed genjutsu mistress Kunai, the purple-haired sword mistress Yugao, the master swordsman Hayate, the 2 ramen cooks Ayami and her father Chuchi, and the several still unknown Anbu agents Inu, dog, Itachi, weasel, Tora, tiger, and Oni, demon. Naruto's thought process was interrupted by the sound of a door opening. Naruto turned around to see Lefei in a clean set of clothes looking at him. Lefei-chan, is something wrong? Questioned Naruto, watching as the blonde girl walked forwards and sat down on the sofa opposite Naruto with a look of contemplation on her face. Naruto, I want to thank you for everything you've done for me today. You didn't have to feed me or give me a place to stay in this village, nor did you have to help me with my search for my brother, spoke Lefei. Are you leaving? Questioned Naruto, getting a shake of the head from the girl. No, not yet. My brother may yet be in this village, but I do want to thank you properly, so if there is anything I can provide you with I will be happy to do so, said Lefei. I didn't do what I did today for a thanks, Lefei-chan. It was because it was what was right, said Naruto with a smile. Still, is there nothing you want that I may be able to provide? Questioned the girl. Naruto looked conflicted about what he was about to say. There is something, please Naruto, tell me. I feel bad, declared Lefei. Naruto held up a finger indicating for her to wait. Naruto walked away into a hallway, returning a moment later with nothing appearing to be different. There is one thing I do not expect you to say yes, nor do you have to. I respect your decision whatever it may be, and you are welcome to stay here either way. I will not try to force this upon you, nor if you say yes will I prevent you from your search, said Naruto, making Lefei raise an eyebrow at her fellow blonde, before he reached forwards and put an object on the table between them. Is that a? Questioned Lefei, words failing her. An evil piece? Yes, spoke Naruto, leaning back as the girl looked at the blood-red bishop piece. Lefei looked at the blood-red bishop piece on the table between her and Naruto. She looked at him. Like I said, I'm not going to force this upon you, declared Naruto. Lefei picked up the piece and held it in her hand, looking at it. I need some time to think about this, muttered Lefei, looking up at Naruto, putting the bishop back on the table. Take as long as you need, Lefei-chan. This is a huge decision and I don't want you to end up regretting this, spoke Naruto. Lefei nodded before standing up and walking towards the room she had been given for her stay. Good night, Naruto, said Lefei as she moved towards the hall. Hey, called Naruto, making Lefei turn to him before he tossed his bishop to her. Hold on to it until you've made a decision, said Naruto, getting a nod from Lefei, who turned and walked down into the hall. Sleep well, Lefei-chan, spoke Naruto with a smile as he watched the girl leave the room. Naruto sat back down on his couch and continued to read his book. He had lots to think about. Next morning, Naruto woke in his bed alone with a somewhat sad smile. Naruto rolled over and looked at the clock. Seeing it was 7:30, Naruto rolled back onto his back and looked up at the ceiling with a sigh. Something wrong, Naruto-sama? Questioned Sirius from the end of his bed. I've woken up with Rias, Akeno, Sona and Tsubaki beside me for so long I've forgotten what it's like waking up alone, muttered Naruto, his eyes not moving from the ceiling. If you miss the feeling I will sleep with you, Naruto-sama, offered Sirius, making Naruto look at her. I don't want to force you to if you don't want to, Sirius, said Naruto. Sirius smiled at him. I'm fine with it if you are, Naruto-sama, said Sirius with a smile. Naruto quickly got out of his bed and walked over to Sirius. Thank you, Sirius-chan, spoke Naruto, pulling the woman into a hug. It's not a problem, Naruto-sama, said Sirius, wrapping her arms around her young master. Please Sirius, just Naruto, I shouldn't have been making you use Sama, said Naruto, looking up at the woman. You weren't making me, Naruto, you are my master. I have always been respectful to my superiors, so it was natural, said Sirius, smiling down at her master. Okay, but no more, all right? Questioned Naruto, stepping back from the girl, who nodded. Alright, I have to go shower. I have to meet Shisui-sensei in an hour and a half, said Naruto with a grin as he moved towards the bathroom. An hour and a half later, training ground 10. Naruto walked into the training ground Shisui had told him to go to. In her normal position in his shadow was Sirius, watching over Naruto, making sure no serious harm came to her master. Ah, you made it, spoke Shisui from the other side of the clearing Naruto stepped into. Yes. And before we begin, I would like to apologize for my hostile behavior yesterday, Shisui-sensei, spoke Naruto. It's okay, kid, I know your story. I know how people treat water under the bridge, said Shisui with a dismissive wave of his hand and a big grin. So you know about my tenant? Questioned Naruto, his hand sitting over his stomach as he said this. Yep, sure do, don't care you hold it, although from what I heard you didn't know about it, declared Shisui with a raised eyebrow. I learnt about it last year, said Naruto with a smile. Sorry, Ka-chan, thought Naruto, apologizing for calling his mother an it. It's fine, I've been called worse, declared the voice of Kushina from within Naruto's mind. So what's first up, Shisui-sensei? asked Naruto, looking to the man with a grin awaiting instructions. Well, I have seen you have some skill and I think I should get a handle of what you can do first, said Shisui. Before we begin, sensei, are you going to tell anyone that you're training me? Questioned Naruto, looking at him nervously. Scared people might attack you for training? Questioned Shisui. That, and I might have Anbu watching my every move while I'm in the village, thought Naruto while nodding to Shisui. Don't worry Naruto, I didn't plan on telling anyone like that, spoke Shisui. Thanks for that sensei, spoke Naruto before he bit his thumb, making it bleed before he rubbed the blood on his other fingers. Shisui looked on with a raised eyebrow as Naruto knelt down and with his bloodied fingers began to draw what he could only guess was a Fuinjutsu seal. In actuality it was a devil rune, but then again that's what all ninja Fuinjutsu was based on, so Shisui's thoughts were not far off. Naruto finished off his rune with a circle around it before flooding the blooded dirt with his devil magic. After magical energy was pushed into the rune, a small dome of energy spread around from the rune. Naruto looked up at Shisui, whose eyes had turned from charcoal black to blood red with 3 tomoe rotating around his pupil, and he was looking around. What's the seal do? Questioned Shisui, looking at the blonde who was now standing once more. It distorts the reality around us, stopping anyone outside the area from seeing what we're doing, said Naruto, getting a nod from Shisui. Okay, fair enough, muttered Shisui. Seiruz-chan, would you mind leaving the area? Questioned Naruto, turning back to his shadow, making Shisui look at him like he was insane. That was until the platinum blonde woman rose from Naruto's shadow and quickly moved over to the tree line, where she watched the two with narrowed eyes, not entirely trusting Shisui. Now sensei, you wanted to see my skills? Spoke Naruto, turning back to Shisui, who still had his blood red and tomoe spinning eyes. Naruto smirked and threw his hands out to the side and let 2 balls of blue fire form, hovering over his hands. Before Shisui could say anything, Naruto ran forwards at the man, who watched on impassively as Naruto drew closer and closer before the blonde kicked off the ground with his left foot, launching him upwards and to the right. Naruto swung his right arm overhead and threw the ball of fire down at Shisui, who jumped back from the fire with only a raised eyebrow, looking up at the airborne Naruto before the ninja reached into his pouch and pulled out a pair of shuriken. Naruto's eyes went wide as Shisui threw the weapons at Naruto, who flared his wings and flew backwards to avoid the weapons.
Blue fire and wings, you are just full of surprises, aren't you, Naruto? Spoke Shisui with a smirk. Naruto just growled and flew forwards at Shisui before his flames from his left hand formed into the shape of a blade, which he swung down on Shisui, hoping to catch him in making assumptions that his blade-shaped fire would actually act like a blade and Shisui would block with a kunai, only for the man to jump back from Naruto as his blade slammed into the ground.
I've had people pull a similar trick on me before, Naruto. It's a good trick, but I've been on the receiving end of it before, smirked Shisui, making Naruto once more glare at him. You seem quite fond of that blue fire of yours, let me show you some of my fire, spoke Shisui, grinning like an idiot as he flipped through hand signs. Katen Gokaku no Jutsu, fire-style fireball jutsu, called Shisui, breathing out a fireball about Naruto's size that flew towards the boy, who was now smirking. Fire is my domain, Shisui-sensei, you can't touch me with it, grinned Naruto as the fireball that flew towards him went from orange-red to light blue and flew around Naruto before he flicked it back at the shocked Shisui, who quickly jumped out of the way of the fire. At speed Naruto couldn't track, Shisui appeared right in front of him, a few leaves flicking around his form, and he was already mid-punch towards Naruto's midsection. Naruto was hit in the gut, making him double over in pain. Shisui then pulled Naruto's face down to his knee, kneeing him in the nose, throwing Naruto backwards. Naruto, called Seiruz, about to rush to her master's side, but Naruto flipped backwards before Shisui could attack him while he was down. Stay back, called Naruto, holding his hand out indicating for her to stop, which she did. Ka-chan, can I get a little bit of yokai? Asked Naruto. Kushina didn't even respond, she simply gave Naruto not even half a tail's worth of yokai. Naruto's eyes went blood red and his fingernails became claw-like. Naruto then bolted forwards at speeds that shocked Shisui so much so that Naruto managed to land a solid hit to Shisui's midsection before his fist burst into flames, throwing Shisui backwards from his position. Shisui stopped just short of a tree behind him. "You got a decent amount of strength there, kid, and your speed is nothing to sneeze at," declared Shisui. Naruto once more charged at Shisui, throwing a punch at the man only for Shisui to catch Naruto's fist and to twist his arm, pulling Naruto into a headlock with his own arm, his back to Shisui. "How you going to get out of this one, kid?" questioned Shisui with a smirk. Naruto narrowed his eyes before throwing his head back, hitting Shisui in the nose, making his grip on Naruto's wrist slip. Naruto then lifted up his left foot before slamming his foot down on Shisui's, making the ninja pull his foot back. Naruto then bent his right foot up at the knee, slamming his heel into Shisui's balls, making all grip on Naruto cease as he clutched his balls. Naruto then jumped forward, spinning around and throwing a fireball at Shisui, hitting the man in the chest, knocking him back as he fell to the ground. Shisui burst into flames. Naruto stopped and looked around the clearing, expanding his senses to try and locate Shisui, only to hear clapping as the man himself stepped out from behind some trees. "Well done, Naruto, you beat my reinforced cage bunshin. That guy was about 10% of my skill, and it gave me a rough idea of where you're at, despite the fact you were holding a bit back, I think. Although I am confused how you used those fireballs without chakra," said Shisui. "They're not chakra, it's just pyrokinesis," declared Naruto. "Okay, that explains the lack of chakra in him, I guess," muttered Shisui. "What about the wings then? I saw no chakra in him either," questioned Shisui. Naruto winced. He didn't have a cover story for his wings. Naruto looked at Shisui. "What would you say if I told you I'm not exactly human?" questioned Naruto. "If you think you're a demon for the wings then," began Shisui. "No, that's not it. This is not something I feel, this is something I know. I'm not human, Shisui-sensei, I'm a devil," said Naruto, making Shisui raise an eyebrow at him skeptically. "You don't believe me?" said Naruto. "No," declared Shisui. "Well, this might prove it to you," said Naruto, holding his hand out, and a magical ring formed at the end of his hands before a ball of blue fire formed in front of the rune. "I can't see any chakra in the technique, but I can see some form of power in it," said Shisui, looking at the flames. "That power would be my devil magic," declared Naruto. "All right, for now I will believe you," said Shisui, looking at Naruto. "Thank you, Shisui-sensei," spoke Naruto. "You still have chakra, right?" questioned Shisui. "Yeah, devils absorb chakra from the atmosphere, which forms our own chakra networks. However, given my parents were both devils who moved here and their chakra networks had already formed, I was born with one," said Naruto. "Right, well, have you unlocked your chakra?" questioned Shisui, looking at his apprentice who was shaking his head. "Right, so starting fully from scratch right then," muttered Shisui, looking down. "Sorry, sensei," said Naruto sadly, looking down. No, Naruto, it's fine, I'm not disappointed, just trying to work out a training schedule for you," declared Shisui, getting an excited nod from Naruto. "First things first, I guess let's unlock that chakra," spoke Shisui, getting a nod from Naruto. "Sit down, Naruto, in a meditative position," ordered Shisui. Naruto dropped to the ground, sitting in a meditative state. "Now close your eyes and empty your mind," said Shisui. Once more Naruto did as instructed. "With your mind clear, I want you to reach down into your stomach. You're looking for a warm feeling," said Shisui, looking down at his sitting pupil. Naruto once more did as instructed. Searching deep within his navel, Naruto searched for the warm feeling. "It's okay if you don't find it, Naruto," came Shisui's voice almost in a disembodied tone as Naruto searched for the warm feeling. "Naruto," began Shisui, interrupted by the blonde. "I have it," declared Naruto, making Shisui raise a brow, not that Naruto saw it. "Okay, Naruto, I want you to try and gently pull on that feeling. Let the warmth flow through you. Pull that feeling out," spoke Shisui. Naruto nodded slightly as he began to pull on the feeling, letting it flow through his body. Shisui, who was watching with his Sharingan active, he watched on as Naruto's chakra spread throughout his body. However, before Shisui could say anything to Naruto, he had to jump back and close his eyes as Naruto exploded with chakra. Shisui looked at Naruto worried. However, to his surprise, Naruto still sat in his meditative position alight with chakra. Naruto had so much chakra it was creating a visible flame on him. This kid, having just unlocked his chakra, has more than I do. What is this kid? Wondered Shisui, looking at the blonde before he shook his head, bringing his attention back to the kid sitting in front of him. "Alright Naruto, you've done it," said Shisui. Naruto opened his eyes, which were now aglow with chakra. The blue sheen of chakra around Naruto dissipated and the glow around Naruto's eyes dropped, and he smiled at Shisui, who grinned at his student. "Good job Naruto, most people don't get it their first times," declared Shisui, making Naruto's eyes go wide before he smiled. "Upside, you unlocked your chakra on your first go. Downside, you have more chakra than I do. Upside to that, you can throw jutsu around like nobody's business. Downside to so much chakra, very little control, if any at all," declared Shisui, making Naruto happy and sad. "I think the best thing to do is to teach you control. However, because of your gigantic reserves, you may need a little help. So first I want to teach you the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu. With this jutsu you'll be able to clone yourself, and these clones send any information learned back to you when they dispel," declared Shisui, making Naruto's eyes widen. "However, don't think this is an easy jutsu. It's very chakra intensive and the clones dispel really easily," said Shisui. "I'm ready to learn Shisui-sensei," declared Naruto, getting a nod from Shisui. "Okay, I want you to put your fingers like this," said Shisui, holding his hands up with his index and middle fingers in a cross pattern. Naruto nodded and imitated Shisui. "Okay, with your hands like that, I want you to push as much of the warm feeling to your hands, and when you feel you have enough, I want you to try and push it out of your hands and call Kage Bunshin no Jutsu," said Shisui, calling the name of the jutsu before a cloud of smoke appeared next to Shisui. The smoke quickly vanished, revealing a second Shisui. Naruto went wide-eyed. "Alright Naruto, your turn," declared Shisui. Naruto nodded and put his hands into the hand sign. "Kage Bunshin no Jutsu," called Naruto before a huge cloud of smoke covered the entire clearing. Once the smoke cleared, revealing 100 clones in the clearing. However, before Shisui could say anything to Naruto, the clones started to vanish, and within seconds there was no clones in the clearing and Naruto stood on wobbly feet. "Master," called Sera's, blurring forwards, catching Naruto as he fell backwards. "I'm good Sera's," muttered Naruto, shaking his head as he stood back up. "You created too many clones with not enough chakra. Try thinking about 50 clones and try again Naruto," spoke Shisui, getting a nod from the blonde, who stepped forwards from Sera's, who looked at him worriedly. "You don't need to push yourself so hard Naru-chan," said Kushina worriedly from within Naruto's mind. "If I don't push myself, how can I improve?" questioned Naruto, silencing his mother, who was still worried but would be able to help if worst came to worst. "Kage Bunshin no Jutsu," called Naruto, forcing his chakra into his hands. Once more smoke appeared in the clearing. This time when it cleared, it revealed 50 Narutos. Shisui raised a brow looking at the clones, almost expecting them to pop, but to his surprise they were stable. Walking up to the nearest clone, Shisui poked it to check the stability of the clones. "Hey," said the clone indignantly. "Just checking stability," said Shisui, looking at the clone, who narrowed his eyes. "Alright, now I want all of you to watch closely, as this is what you'll be doing next," declared Shisui, making all of the Narutos look at him as he walked over to a nearby tree and began walking up the trunk, shocking all of the other people in the clearing. To do this you need to push chakra into your feet and walk up the tree. Too much chakra and you'll be blasted off the tree. Too little and you won't stick. You might want to start with a run-up," said Shisui, getting a nod from Naruto and his clones. "Now each of you pick a tree and get started," ordered Shisui. Naruto grinned as he huffed and puffed at the top of the tree he was standing on. "I did it, Shisui-sensei," wheezed Naruto, looking down into the clearing where Shisui stood, Sera's beside him. "Good job kid, you mastered that faster than I expected," called Shisui, looking up at Naruto and the pink sky behind the blonde. "It took me a day. How long did you expect me to take?" questioned the sweating Naruto, looking down at Shisui. Well, from what I know of people doing this exercise, I was expecting at least a week, maybe 2 days with your shadow clones, called Shisui. Naruto nodded and began to walk back down the tree, that is, until the blonde got halfway down the tree before he simply began to fall. Naruto yelled Shisui and Ceres looking as the blonde fell. Ceres quickly jumped up, catching Naruto as he fell. Ceres quickly pushed off the tree and back-flipped, landing softly on the ground, Naruto in her arms. "Sorry, Ceres-chan," muttered Naruto as he lay in her arms. "It's not your fault, Naruto," spoke Ceres. "You used too much chakra up and didn't have enough to maintain connection to the tree. You pushed your limits a little too far, Naruto," said Shisui before reaching into his pouch, pulling out a small sack of something. Reaching into it, he pulled out a tiny red pill and held it out to Naruto. "Here, this will replenish your chakra quickly," said Shisui, handing the pill to Naruto. "What's the catch?" questioned Naruto, his eyes lolling closed. "Good, you are smart enough that something like this comes at a cost. The catch is that when you run out of chakra again, you will be twice as tired unless you rest between now and then," said Shisui. "Then what's the point? Chakra regenerates when I sleep anyway," said Naruto, looking at Shisui confused. "You've got to walk home. I have heard some of the stories about what happens to you, and even with your bodyguard I don't want to walk home, so tired," said Shisui, motioning to Ceres at the mention of bodyguard. Naruto looked at Ceres and then back to Shisui, nodding to him, taking the pill before crunching it between his teeth. After a moment, Naruto stood up, feeling his chakra return to him. "Same time again tomorrow, Naruto," declared Shisui, stepping away from Naruto. "All right, Shisui-sensei," said Naruto as Shisui vanished in a swirl of leaves. Naruto turned to Ceres with a smile. "Thank you for catching me, Ceres," said Naruto with a smile. "I promised Venelana-sama and Ruby-sama that I would keep you safe and intend to keep that promise," said Ceres, getting a grateful nod from Naruto. "Thanks anyway. Time to go," declared Naruto, turning and walking out of the training grounds, Ceres quickly dropping into Naruto's shadow as he walked out of the area. The blonde walked towards the main part of the village. Walking down the streets of the village, Naruto ignored the glares being sent his way in favor of walking to his destination. The T&I department was not a place many people would willingly go to, let alone a child no older than 8, but Naruto walked up to the building that looked like any other in the area, the screams of those within silenced by seals and devil runes. Just as Naruto was about to walk in, the doors of the building opened. "Anko ne," said Naruto with a huge smile, seeing the purple-haired woman he had come to see. "En Naru-chan?" questioned the woman, seeing the blonde she hadn't seen in over a year. "Ne-chan," called Naruto, running over to the woman, hugging her. Despite her shock, Anko seized the boy in a hug. "Naruto, what? Who? When? What?" questioned Anko, confused. "Ne-chan, I don't really want to talk about this more than once. I know you probably have questions for me, but could we talk about this with you, Gao ne, Hayat ni and Kurenai ne?" questioned Naruto. Anko narrowed her eyes at the young blonde. "It's a long story, I swear I will answer any questions, I just don't want to be explaining over and over again," said Naruto. "You're lucky, Naruto, I was just headed out to meet them now," said Anko, holding out her hand to the young blonde before the two of them walked away from the T&I building, heading to the red light district. 10 minutes later, Naruto walked with Anko into a bar, Naruto walking behind Anko somewhat as the two walked towards the back of the bar. Anko walked towards her and her friend's usual table. She was walking a little faster than normal, but she wanted answers from Naruto. "Hey Anko-chan," called a voice, snapping Anko out of her pseudo-trance to see Kurenai smiling at her. Anko grinned at her friends. "Hey guys, Luki, who I found," said Anko with a grin, stepping aside, revealing behind Anko was Naruto. "En Naruto?" questioned Kurenai, looking at the boy. Hey," said Naruto nervously. "Naruto?" squealed Kurenai, jumping out her seat, hugging Naruto tightly. "Here, I thought Anko was Ka-chan's second rook," spoke Naruto as he was squeezed exceedingly tight by Kurenai, who the second she heard his comment she stopped dead in her tracks, as did the other three people. "Ceres, would you please join us?" spoke Naruto, making the four people around him look at him confused until his platinum blonde vampiric queen rise out of his shadow standing behind him. I assume you want to know where I have been for the last year? I have been learning about my heritage, said Naruto, shocking the four people. Naruto then sat down in the booth next to Yugao, Ceres sitting next to him, the rest of the group shuffling around to accommodate Naruto and his queen. How did you get to the underworld? Questioned Hayate, forgetting to fake cough while he spoke. Lord Phoenix and Lord Gremory felt me use my demonic power instinctively and they took me back to the underworld with them, spoke Naruto, looking at Hayate, who nodded. You used your demonic power instinctively? Questioned Yugao. A group of blanked-masked Anbu attacked me with some fire jutsu which I took control of with my pyrokinesis, said Naruto, getting a confused and somewhat annoyed look from Yugao. I take it Ceres-san there is one of your peerage? Questioned Kurenai. Yes, I met her in London. Meet Ceres Victoria, my vampiric queen, said Naruto. Wait, Ceres Victoria as in Ceres Victoria revived by Alucard? Questioned Yugao, looking at Ceres. How do you know my former master? Questioned Ceres. He was both of Kushina-sama's bishops, declared Hayate. I told him so many times not to call me that, spoke Kushina from Naruto's mind. How did you know I was your mother's second rook? Asked Anko, looking at Naruto confused. Hayate, Yugao and Kurenai looked at each other before then looking at Naruto. My mother is alive, she told me, said Naruto. That's not funny, Naruto, said Kurenai, narrowing her eyes at Naruto, who looked at her unwavering. She is alive, not in the same form as you knew. She is the Kyuubi, said Naruto, getting raised eyebrows from the four people in front of him. When she had the Kyuubi sealed in her, she began to merge with it. When the Kyuubi was sealed into me, Ka-chan and Tusan sealed parts of their own souls in me as well. Ka-chan's soul latched onto the Kyuubi and she fought with it for control of its body and she won, said Naruto, making the four of them look at him unbelievingly. Sochi, I have an idea, but you're going to have to trust me, spoke Kushina from within Naruto's mind. As much as I want to believe you, Naruto, it sounds so unbelievable, said Yugao with a sad smile, looking at the blonde. The blonde himself closed his eyes with a sigh, making them look at him. However, what no one expected was for his eyes to snap open, his normal blue eyes replaced with blood-red ones, and before anyone could anything, Naruto's hands came together in a hand sign. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu, called Naruto in a distinctly feminine voice, and a plume of red smoke appeared beside the table. Oh, that's better, spoke the same feminine voice from before. Kei Kushina-sama? Questioned the four reincarnated devils at the table. I told you all not to call me that, spoke Kushina, narrowing her eyes at the four devils. Sorry, spoke the ninja in unison. It's fine, you lot, just remember don't call me Sama, declared Kushina, getting a nod from the four ninja. You gonna scoot over so I can sit, or do I just stand for the night? Asked Kushina with a grin before the sitting group of ninja moved around, making room for Kushina. Just as she sat down, an Anbu appeared next to their table. Oni ni, spoke Naruto, happily seeing the masked ninja. Hello Alucard, said Kushina, not even looking at the ninja. It has been a while, Kushina-sama, said the masked man, reaching up to his mask, pulling it off, revealing his pale face, blood-red eyes and long black hair. Alucard, nice to see you again, said Ceres, looking at her former master. As it is to see you, Ceres, spoke Alucard with a smile, looking at his former servant. I see you have once more followed in my path and been reborn as a devil, Ceres, said Alucard with a smirk, sensing the power within Ceres. She is a mutation queen, my mutation queen, said Naruto, smirking as he saw the surprised look on Alucard's face as well as the looks on everyone else's faces minus Ceres and Kushina.
You may grow stronger than me yet, Ceres, said Alucard with a smirk, before looking to Kushina. Before anything else I must ask how you are alive, mistress, questioned Alucard, looking confusedly at Kushina. Long story short, I am the Kyuubi, said Kushina, getting a nod from Alucard. Hang on, how did you find us here? Questioned Kushina, looking at her vampiric servant.
I felt a small yokai pulse and I felt it best to investigate because it was either Naruto or a rouge yokai, said Alucard. Fair enough, spoke Kushina with a shrug. Next day hash. Naruto groaned as light flooded into his room. However, unlike the day before, Naruto woke up with an arm draped over his chest. Looking over at the sleeping face of Ceres, Naruto felt content with the woman sleeping beside him. Naruto looked over to the clock sitting on the bedside table showing 6 o'clock. Naruto smiled and lay back. Is this a better experience, Naruto? Asked Ceres, not even opening her eyes. Ceres, I didn't wake you, did I? Questioned Naruto looking at the woman. No, I have been awake for about 10 minutes, spoke Ceres. Thank you for sleeping with me, Ceres, said Naruto with a smile. Ceres opened her eyes and smiled back at Naruto. No problem, Naruto, said Ceres, hugging Naruto tightly. He just smiled, enjoying the contact. Naruto, can I ask a question? Questioned Ceres. You just did, but go on, said Naruto. Are you thinking of making Shisui a part of your peerage? Questioned Ceres. I'm not sure, he is quite skilled, which is something I'm looking for, but I don't know. But there is something I need to know before I even contemplate it, said Naruto. Oh, and that would be? Asked Ceres. Where his loyalties lie. If H is blindly loyal to Konoha, there is no way in hell I'm going to convert him, declared Naruto. So you want him to be loyal to what, his family? Questioned Ceres, confused. Yeah, if H is more loyal to family than to the village, he could be worth it, but otherwise I'm not even going to try and convert him because I'm not sure how long I plan to stay in Konoha, said Naruto. Oh, you're not planning on staying here? Questioned Ceres. No, even being here the last 3 days, it makes me realize that this place is not for me. It's just a matter of how long I plan to stay and where I will go, declared Naruto. If you want, Naruto, I could test his loyalty today while you train, questioned Ceres, looking at Naruto. Nothing actually putting his family in danger, I hope? Questioned Naruto. No, I will pose him a question which would reveal his loyalty, said Ceres. Several hours later, Naruto stood in the clearing, Ceres standing behind him as he looked at Shisui walking out onto the lake in the middle of the clearing. So the idea of the water walking is similar to tree walking, but it's not a solid surface, so you have to constantly adjust the amount of chakra in your feet, spoke Shisui from atop the water, looking at Naruto, who nodded. I would suggest you strip to boxers so you don't get your clothes wet, suggested Shisui, getting a nod from Naruto, who quickly stripped, before moving his hands into the Kage Bunshin sign before he formed 50 clones who were equally dressed. Remember, once you clones make some headway, dispels so the rest of you gain the experience, said Shisui, getting a nod from the horde of Narutos who quickly begun to try and walk out onto the water. Shisui himself moved back over to the shoreline, walking over to a tree that he sat down under and watched as Naruto slowly begun to walk on water. Ceres, who had been watching from nearby, walked over to Shisui. She sat down next to him. Can I help you with something, Ceres-san? Questioned Shisui. No, I just came to sit here, it's more out of the sun, spoke Ceres, wincing as she looked up at the sun. Yeah, I have seen you avoiding the sun a lot. What, you burn easily? Questioned Shisui. Well, yeah, I am a vampire, said Ceres, making Shisui turn to her with a raised brow before turning back to Naruto. So Shisui-san, do you have any siblings? Asked Ceres, making the black-haired man turn to her once more. Biological siblings, no friends as close as. Yeah, I have a couple. Why do you ask? Questioned Shisui. I'm just curious, spoke Ceres, looking out at Naruto, watching as he sunk into the water and had to swim back to the shore to start again. Just hypothetically, if one of these friends of yours was going to be executed by the village for something they didn't do and you knew they didn't do it, but it was apparently for the safety of the village, what would you do? Questioned Ceres. Shisui looked at her, confused. What's with the weird questions all of a sudden? Asked Shisui, looking at the woman. I'm just curious what kind of person is training Naruto, said Ceres without a care in the world. Well, if it was in the best interest of the village, I wouldn't be happy about it, but I would let them do it, said Shisui, narrowing his eyes, looking at the ground. Okay, fair enough, spoke Ceres, looking up into the tree. Hashtag several hours later #I've almost got it I swear, muttered Naruto walking up to the tree under which Ceres and Shisui sat before he sat down in front of them. It was looking pretty good Naruto. I think by this time tomorrow you should have it down, muttered Shisui looking up at the sky. Well, it's about time I head off. You good today Naruto? Asked Shisui looking at his student who nodded as Shisui stood up. Alright, I'll see you two tomorrow, said Shisui vanishing in a swirl of leaves. Naruto waited for a minute before turning to Ceres. I take it you asked him your question? Asked Naruto once he was sure Shisui was gone. Yeah, he is more loyal to the village than he is to family, or at least that's what I get from what I asked him, said Ceres. Naruto nodded as he stood up putting his clothes back on. After a few moments Naruto walked back over to Ceres. It's time for us to go to Ceres, said Naruto walking out of the clearing as Ceres once more following her usual pattern she got up and sunk into his shadow. Naruto once more walked through the village getting glares from all of the villages. Again ignoring the villages, Naruto moved through the crowds of villages and into the alleyways, not wanting to deal with the villages and their glares. Moving towards his home through the alleyways was a breeze, and the lack of villages and their glares was a rather nice bonus. Making his way into his house, Naruto was quite thankful to be home, and after walking in he made a beeline for the kitchens so he could make himself something to eat. He had just finished a full day of training and he was hungry. As Naruto stepped into his kitchen, Ceres rose out of his shadow and began making her way to the room she had claimed to find something to read for a while. Naruto? Called a voice from somewhere in the house. In the kitchen. Luffy-chan, called Naruto, making himself a simple sandwich. Naruto then heard shuffling. Not bothering to turn around, he assumed that it was Luffy. Naruto, once you are done can I speak with you? Asked Luffy. Sure, just give me a few moments, said Naruto quickly finishing his sandwich. Taking the food, Naruto moved into the lounge room where he found Luffy sitting on one of the couches with the bishop piece sitting on the coffee table between the couches. I take it this is about the offer I made? Questioned Naruto, quickly taking a bite out of his sandwich. I've made my decision, said Luffy. I've made my decision, said Luffy. Oh, and? Questioned Naruto looking at her with a raised eyebrow. I'll do it. I'll be reborn as a member of your peerage. You saved me when I was starving and helped me searching for my brother, and you have said you won't stop me from trying to find him. I'll become your servant, said Luffy. Alright, but I will correct you on one thing, you won't be my servant. I don't hold myself above my peerage, said Naruto smiling at the girl before taking the bishop from her. Come, let's get this sorted, said Naruto giving Luffy the come here gesture. The girl nodded and followed her soon-to-be king. The two walked to Naruto's room. Lay down, this shouldn't take more than a minute, said Naruto pointing to his bed, getting a nod from the girl as she quickly lay down on the rather comfy bed. Naruto quickly picked up his pawns from a nearby chessboard to make sure Luffy was worth a bishop. The blonde devil was sure she was, but just wanted to make sure. Just hold still, I want to make sure of something first, said Naruto walking over to his bed, getting a quick nod from the blonde girl. Naruto lay a pawn on Luffy's chest. It didn't glow. Nor did a second with a third. The three pawns began to glow. Naruto nodded his head, taking the three pawns from her chest before putting the bishop he had used to make the proposal to her in the first place. So, I did learn a little about the evil pieces when I was with the Golden Dawn, but what's the difference between the pieces? Questioned Luffy. Well, pawns are basic pieces, nothing too special about them. Rooks give the devil a large boost in strength, but it costs them speed. The knights gains a speed boost, but at the cost of their magical prowess. The bishop spoke. Naruto interrupted by Luffy. Let me guess, better magic, worse strength? Questioned the girl, getting a nod from Naruto. Correct, and finally the queen gains the boosts of all three with none of the drawbacks, said Naruto, getting a nod from the girl. Now I'm about to begin the process, so please don't interrupt, said Naruto, getting a nod from his soon-to-be bishop. I commandeth thee as Naruto Phoenix Grimoire. Mine command, Luffy Pendragon, is that thou shall serve me as a magician to the best of your abilities. I seal this contract. Be reborn, declared Naruto. Luffy was shocked as a magical ring formed beneath her as the blood-red bishop piece on her chest began to sink into her chest. After a moment, the piece was gone, making LeFay's body glow brightly for a moment before the glow died down as LeFay sat up. A pair of half bat-like wings and half blue flame wings flared out of her back. "And like that you are now my bishop," said Naruto with a smile. Next morning Naruto was walking with Ceres in his shadow and LeFay next to him towards the training ground. He was learning from Shisui in. Ceres as usual was there to protect Naruto. LeFay however was following Naruto, so she knew where he was, as today she was going to search for any information on her brother's whereabouts and wanted to know where Naruto would be if she needed some more help. "Morning Naruto," said Shisui as the two visible devils walked into the training grounds. Naruto nodded and waved to the man. "Who's your friend Naruto? A long-lost sister?" questioned Shisui, looking at the two with a raised eyebrow. "No, what makes you think that?" questioned Naruto, looking at LeFay and then to Shisui. "Blonde hair, blue eyes, similar-ish faces," listed Shisui, looking at the two, making the two young devils look at each other before shrugging. "No, Shisui-sensei, this is my friend LeFay. LeFay-chan, this is my sensei Shisui," said Naruto with a smile, introducing the two. "Nice to meet you," said Shisui with a grin. "As it is to meet you, Shisui-san," said LeFay with a slight curtsy. "I'll see you later Naruto," said LeFay, turning and walking away after getting a nod from Naruto. "Why did she even come here if she was just going to leave?" asked Shisui, looking at Naruto confused as Ceres began to rise out of Naruto's shadow. "She wanted to know where I am in case she needs my help," said Naruto, getting a nod from Shisui. "Alright, well, time to train. Water walking, get to it," said Shisui. Naruto nodded and walked over to the water's edge and began stripping to his boxes before cloning himself. Several hours later, Shisui-sensei, I've got it, called Naruto, standing atop the water in the middle of the lake. "Good job Naruto, now you just have to learn to do it instinctively," said Shisui with a sadistic smirk. Naruto's eyes widened as a kunai came flying at him. Naruto jumped out of the way, sinking into the water a bit as he landed. While he was unbalanced from his landing, Shisui tossed another kunai at him, making him jump into the air to avoid the second kunai. When he landed, Naruto slipped straight into the water. When Naruto surfaced, he saw Shisui with kunai in hand with a grin on his face. "Hang on a second Shisui-sensei," said Naruto, swimming back to shore before he flared his devil flames, drying his skin in an instant before he ran over to his clothes. "What's the matter Naruto?" asked Shisui, confused. "Nothing you need to worry about Shisui-sensei, I'll be back shortly," said Naruto, quickly putting on his pants before a teleportation circle appeared beneath his feet, which quickly rose up, engulfing him in a glow before he was gone. "What the hell was that?" questioned Shisui, looking at where Naruto just stood. "A teleportation circle," said Ceres simply. #with Naruto #. Naruto grimaced as he appeared in his apartment's bedroom in his building. Naruto looked around before quickly moving out of the bedroom just in time for a knock to sound at the door. Naruto quickly moved to the door. "Who is it?" asked Naruto, already knowing full well who it was, but he needed to keep up appearances. "It's me Naruto," called a grandfatherly voice from the other side of the door. "Gigi!" screamed Naruto, happily swinging the door open, inwardly throwing up at the thought of having to call the man anything affectionate. "Are you okay Naruto-kun? You haven't been seen outside for the past couple of days?" asked Hiruzen with a smile. "I'm fine Gigi, you don't need to check on me," said Naruto, once more casting a demonic illusion over the man, making his mind latch onto certain words, implanting into his mind that he didn't need to check on Naruto ever. "Well, okay, I guess you're a big boy now. Anyway, the other reason I came over, it's lunchtime, would you like Ichirakus?" questioned Hiruzen with a grandfatherly smile. Naruto saw past the man's fake smile. The man had lost all respect the boy had for him, but once more Naruto needed to keep up appearances. "Sure Gigi, just give me a minute to get ready," said Naruto with a grin, moving into his room, closing the door behind him. Naruto's hands formed a cross as he molded his chakra. "Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu," muttered Naruto quietly as a clone formed next to him. "Naruto, the real one?" quickly jumped up to the ceiling and used his chakra to stick there out of the view of the open door while the clone grabbed an orange jacket from the cupboard and walked out the door to meet Hiruzen as the two left. Naruto, after waiting a few moments to make sure Hiruzen was gone, dropped from the ceiling and once more was engulfed in a glow as a teleportation circle appeared beneath his feet and rose up, making him disappear. Back at the training ground. Naruto appeared back at the training grounds with to see Shisui leaning back on a tree and Ceres sitting with Luffy, who had apparently returned. The two girls were sitting under a tree away from Shisui. "I'm back," said Naruto, making all three people look at him. "Do you need my help, Luffy-chan?" asked Naruto, looking at the girl. She gave him a sad look and shook her head. "No, none of the people I asked had any idea he might not have been here," said Luffy with a sad smile. "Don't worry, Luffy-chan, we'll find him, I promise you that," said Naruto with a smile. The girl nodded with a grateful smile. Naruto then turned back to Shisui. "All right, sensei, I'm ready to go again," said Naruto. "Well, you know the deal, you are going to get wet with this," said Shisui. Naruto nodded and moved over to the shore and stripped to his boxers. Walking out onto the water, Naruto turned back to Shisui, who had kunai in his hands. Naruto glared down his teacher as the man began to throw kunai at Naruto. "Is this what his training is always like?" questioned Luffy, looking to Ceres confused. "No, this is the first time Shisui has brought out kunai. H's training Naruto to control his chakra. Walking on water apparently helps, as Naruto has to send chakra to his feet to stay afloat, and the kunai throwing is to help Naruto begin to do the water walking instinctively," said Ceres. "This seems a little unsafe," said Luffy, looking at Naruto worriedly. "If Shisui hurts Naruto beyond necessary, he will answer to me, and Naruto has a great healing factor, so if he gets small cuts from kunai, they'll be healed rather quickly," said Ceres with a reassuring smile. "If his healing factor is so good, then how come the scars on his back aren't healed?" asked Luffy, looking to Ceres for answers. "We're not entirely sure why they didn't heal, but they were done before Naruto went to the underworld," said Ceres. A comfortable silence formed between the two as they watched their king train. "Hey, Ceres-san," spoke Luffy. Hummed Ceres, indicating she was listening. "Do you know who carved demon into Naruto's back?" asked Luffy, making Ceres look at her with a contemplative look on her face. "I do," spoke the woman simply. "Who was it? But more to the point, did they get punished for it?" asked Luffy. "It's not my place to tell who, and I don't know if he got punished for it," said Ceres with a growl, just thinking about the memory of Naruto's she had observed. "So it's a he?" questioned Luffy, getting a nod from Ceres. "Yes," declared Ceres. Later that day, the sun had set, Shisui had left. Naruto had mastered the water walking exercise to Shisui's satisfaction, and Naruto was quickly putting his clothes back on. After Naruto had put his clothes on, he walked over to his two peerage members. "All right, you two, let's head home," said Naruto, getting a nod from both girls, who nodded and began to follow Naruto. Ceres fell into Naruto's shadow as the two others walked out of the training ground. "Go on without me, Luffy-chan, there's something I need to do," said Naruto with a smile. The girl didn't like what he was saying but nodded and walked away from Naruto, rounding a corner out of his sight. Naruto himself then walked along the streets. He knew people were gathering, preparing to attack him, he knew it. And for that reason he had sent Luffy on without him. She didn't need to be around as Naruto killed or maimed them. Walking on, Naruto ignored the crowd of people building up behind him and simply continued on his way. A few moments later, Naruto walked into a dead-end alleyway and stood there for a moment. "Nowhere to run, demon," declared a voice from behind him. Naruto turned and saw that there were about 20 people standing in the alleyway entrance, all brandishing various improvised weapons. "Who's running?" questioned Naruto in a bored tone. "We don't know where you've been for the last year, but today you will finally pay for your crimes, monster," said another person. "Uh-huh," said Naruto, examining his fingernails. "That's it," roared a muscly man running forwards at Naruto. The man had a sword in hand ready to slice Naruto in half. The man brought his sword up ready to swing it at Naruto, however just as he went to swing, a form rose out of Naruto's shadow which was cast between the two. "You will not lay a finger on my master," declared Sears, her black and red aura-cloaked claw hand wrapped around the blade. "Who the fuck are you?" snarled the man. "Your death," spoke Sears with a psychotic grin as her free hand turned into a claw and pierced the man's chest before the man dropped to the ground dead. Instead of the smart option for the mob of being scared and running away, they became enraged and charged at Naruto and his queen. However, before they could even get close, a blue fireball flew at the front runners of the group, who were caught off guard and incinerated by the blue flames. "What the?" questioned some of the mob, looking to a nearby roof only to a blonde girl. "That's quite a nice boost to my magic," muttered LaFay, looking down at the ashes of the three men before she dropped into the alleyway beside Naruto and Sears. "LaFay? What are you doing here?" questioned Naruto. "I'm not as innocent as you think I might be, Naruto. I have killed before I knew what was happening, and you are my master. I can't leave you like that," spoke LaFay, kneeling to Naruto before standing up and turning to face the mob with a pair of fireballs in her hands. Before Naruto could make any more complaints, his hands were flooded with yokai and they moved on their own, forming the cage bunch and hand sign, and in front of the three devils formed a cloud of red smoke which, once cleared, revealed Kushina glaring at the mob of people. "You three head on home. I'll take care of these people," declared Kushina, looking back at the three young devils with a smile. "No, this is my fight," said Naruto as a pair of blue fireballs appeared over his hands. "I won't leave my master," spoke Sears. "Neither will I," declared LaFay. "Well, in that case there's 16 left for each," said Kushina, a devilish smirk appearing on her face. And it was at this moment the remaining members of the mob realized they fucked up. The next morning, Naruto, with Sears in her usual place, his shadow, walked into the training ground only to find for once he was first. Sears quickly rose out of Naruto's shadow before finding a nice tree from which to watch today's training, while Naruto himself quickly walked over to the water and out onto the lake, where he stood and simply enjoyed the slow breeze blow past him. A few moments passed with not so much as a twig snap in the clearing, but the serenity of the area was broken when a pair of leafy cyclones kicked up in the middle of training ground. Naruto, hearing the new arrivals, turned to face his sensei and the person next to him. "Naruto," Sears called Shisui with a grin, waving to the two devils. "Good morning, Shisui-sensei," said Naruto, walking back towards Shisui. "Why are you training him, Shisui? He looks to be about academy age," questioned the man next to him, only for a fireball to sail past his face within inches of him. "Well, it's not like I need training to defend myself from the villages that hate my guts or anything, because all the Anbu that watch over me actually do their job, don't they, Weasel-san?" questioned Naruto, looking at the man who looked at the young blonde shocked. "I'm a sensor. I have felt your chakra when you have been watching me, and I thank you for actually doing your job," said Naruto, bowing slightly towards the man. "As you can see, the boy has a few rather unique skills that shouldn't be wasted, Itachi, and besides he wants to train. I have offered to let him leave early to hang out with friends and he never does," said Shisui, looking to his friend, who simply nodded dumbly. "I don't have any friends in this village and everyone hates the fact that they breathe the same air as I do. I don't think I will make any friends here," said Naruto with a shrug. "That's not true. I'm sure my mother and little brother would love to meet you. My mother has been curious about the student Shisui has been speaking of," said Itachi, making Naruto cast a half glare over at Shisui. "Hey, I only told her that I was training someone, not who I was training," said Shisui with his hands up in surrender. "How about it, Naruto? You want to meet Itachi's family? They're nice people." "Well, Mikoto and Sasuke are," said Shisui with a grin. Naruto thought about it for a moment. He knew Shisui was powerful. Maybe he could find someone with Shisui's level of skill, but more suited for his peerage. So guys, I end story here. See you next video.